What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the panel. Right from the top, we got to start by acknowledging and respecting and paying our dues to the great Jerry West.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. A lot of people don't talk about how good Jerry West was. They talk about Jerry West in the era of the quote unquote plumbers. I'm of the belief that the least amount of teams, that means I got to see the competition more. You know, Hal Greer didn't play for the Lakers. Oscar Robertson didn't play for the Lakers. Bob Cousy didn't play for the Lakers. Walt Frazier didn't play for the Lakers. You know, these guys did not play for the Lakers. So he had to see these guys way more than he would if it was 28, 29 teams in the league. No, I had to see these guys way more. On top of that, I mean, Jerry West, I think he had a 6-year run, Ron, where he averaged 30 a game in the playoffs. I mean, if we got a dude running around in the NBA today that's averaging 30 a game in the playoffs for more than half a decade, how are we talking about him? And he's in dogfights with the Celtics. Like, they losing in game 7 by 2 points, by a bucket. Now, I do think that they should have beat the Celtics in 69, but we got to also remember too, Ron, that this is the same guy who he hasn't played in the NBA in 50 years. So what type of dude was Jerry West? Like, what else did he do with his life? He wasn't just a basketball player. Like, what else did he do? But he was a basketball lifer. You know, he built that Laker team with Magic and Jabbar and James Worthy. And he also built that team with Kobe and Shaq. So he was the architect for that sort of stuff. So absolutely, I don't see stuff like this, and I'm saddened by it. And the reason why I'm not saddened by it, and I don't want it to sound disrespectful, is because, like, we forget that these people, these basketball players, they're people, and people get old. And when people get old, what do? They die, and it happens. And for Jerry West to be 86 years old and to do everything that he did in his life, in and outside of basketball, man, if I'm lucky, I'll see half of that. So, brother, I'll see you when I get there, if I ever get there. But absolutely.
Yeah, man. Really just RP to a legend. Like, this one hurts me. Jerry West was somebody I grew up like. Obviously, I never watched him play.
Yeah,
he was just one of them folktale type of, figures, along the lines of Wilt, along the lines of, you could even say Bill Russell, along the lines of all of them guys that were just that you would just Chamberlain. You would just hear about them and hear about, everything that they did and just how dope they were. And I mean, like, the most astounding thing about Jerry West was he's the logo amongst everybody. And I never bought that with people saying like, oh, Jerry West shouldn't be the logo. They should change the logo, this, that, and the third. I respected Jerry West for being a logo, and I never bought into the fact that anybody else. And that's big ups to everybody that came after Jerry. But Jerry was clearly dope enough to be the logo, and I'm glad that he still is the logo.
Word.
Yeah, man. Only Finals MVP to not win the Finals. I mean, that says a lot about Jerry.
They jumped the gun on that. They did, no doubt. But I mean, he was. What can you say? Jerry West was still awesome, yo. He was still awesome.
Hey, so chill. With that being said, what like, how did that go?
How did what go? I'm sorry.
Like what? They just expected you said they expected the Lakers to win?
Yes, it was game 7. Going into game 7 in Los Angeles. They had already expected. They had balloons in the rafters. The home team. The Celtics were basically, they were dragging in that series, and they were barely pulling out wins. Now we have game 7 where Chamberlain, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, they're at home. It would basically be like today, where the Celtics are going back home up 3-1 in the series, and they've already announced that Jason Tatum is the Finals MVP.
Yeah,
not even realizing they could lose. They were under the impression that the Lakers were not going to lose and Jerry West was going to be the best player. They were under the impression that that was already going to happen. When that didn't happen, they recognized that, we kind of made a mistake here. Definitely made a mistake. So They shouldn't have lost to the Celtics. They were better than them. There's no way that they should have lost to the Celtics. They were definitely better than them.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry went out that last game. He went out with 42, 13, and 12, but yeah, they got packed up. Will had 18 and 27, I'm seeing.
18 and 27. He only took 10 shots, by the way. And Chamberlain at that point, and Mars and I have had this conversation, Chamberlain at that point, you know, he was more of a distributor than he was a scorer because that's what was winning at that point. And I would have thought that, you know, Jerry would have got him more involved in the game, him and Elgin Baylor, but it became the curse of, nobody talks about this. It became the curse of Elgin Baylor. You notice the year Elgin Baylor retired, that was the year they won the NBA championship. So it was almost like it was the curse of Elgin Baylor. Because the year he left, that was the year that they won. So, I mean, if Elgin Baylor is playing in today's game, as good as Elgin was, and as good as him and Jerry West was, and the fact that they keep losing in the NBA Finals, they probably would have broken them up in today's game. Those dudes would not have stayed together. No. Mm-mm.
So Elgin Baylor never got one?
Nope. The year he retired 10 games into the season in 72. 10 games into the season, he retired. He hung them up. They ended up, that was the best team the Lakers ever had, by the way, after he retired. I mean, they ended up with 69 wins that year. Chamberlain won the Finals MVP. They smoked the Knicks in 5 games. So that's unfortunate that it was almost like it was the curse of Elgin Baylor, which is kind of coincidental, Mars, because he goes on to be the GM of what franchise?
Yeah, who talking about? Jerry West?
Elgin Baylor.
Oh, Elgin Baylor. Elgin Baylor was a GM?
Yes.
Oh, you're teaching me something.
Of the Clippers.
Elgin Baylor became the GM of the Clippers.
Garbage.
Oh, when did that happen? Like
Garbage.
like when they were like, were they in San Diego still?
No, they were in Los Angeles. Garbage.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. Yes, he became the GM of the Clippers. Trash. So
he put Jerry West on?
Nah, Jerry West was already with the Lakers. Jerry West was the one who architected. He architected getting Magic. He architected Jabbar. He was the one who put together the Shaq and Kobe tandem. He was also the one who Golden State was very much considering. They were because he was a consultant at the time with the Warriors. They were very much considering trading Klay Thompson for Kevin Love. He was about to resign. No, I want no part of this. Nope. I don't want nothing to do with this. And this is when Klay Thompson was, you know, Klay Thompson. And he didn't want anything to do with that. Nothing to do with it whatsoever. But I think Jerry West is a top 15 player all time. I got him right behind Oscar Robertson. So, and by the way, this is still competition, Ron. And what I mean when I say this is still competition, Bob Cousy and Bob Pettit still walking around. These dudes are still walking around. So they like, yes. Who's going to die last of all of us? I'm the one still standing. I mean, I think Bob Cousy is 94, if I'm not mistaken. And I think Bob Pettit is 91. So these guys don't, the competition doesn't stop. It doesn't.
Yes, it's a lot of them. I just looked up Elgin Baylor too. First off, shout out Elgin Baylor. Went to Seattle U. But also, he 86 right now too. So, hey, man, it's
Elgin Baylor died a couple of years ago, Ron.
Ron.
Yes. I'm sorry,
bro. I swear I'm not lying. Me and Ron just talked about Elgin Baylor passing away like last week.
This is your man, Ox. This is your man, Ox.
We was at Seattle U, bro. We talked about Elgin Baylor passing away, bro.
We talked about that?
Yes, bro.
We talked about Elgin Baylor. We didn't talk about him passing.
All right.
Hey, rest in peace, Elgin. Rest in peace, all the legends. And shout out to all the legends that are still, still kicking for real. Shout out all the living legends. But yeah, Jerry West at 88, man. That's tough. That's tough.
And by the way, they pass in threes because if I'm not mistaken, Chet Walker just passed away. He played for the Sixers. So now Jerry West. So I don't know who's next. I can't tell you who's next, but
Bill Walton.
There you go. There's the third one right there. So Jerry West is the third one. There it is right there. And
man, 88, 86, man, that's a long life. That's a hell of a life. And Jerry West, he was very accomplished. He did a lot of things. Man, Man, I know they celebrating for him right now.
For real.
Shouldn't I mean, obviously, it's sad. You're gonna shed tears when somebody passes, but shouldn't be tears of sadness. I mean, I can't tell anybody how to grieve or how to mourn, but
right.
I hope it's tears of joy in his family and his close circle and friends. The same like how with Bill Walton.
Yeah.
Even though Bill Walton had more of a reputation of being a people person than Jerry West.
Yeah,
but still,
Hey, so what do you guys think was more impressive? His career or post-career, just what he did in the front office and all of that stuff?
His post-career. I think his career as a basketball player was pretty, like I said, 6 straight years, he averaged 30 a game in the playoffs. There's not a lot of guys who could say that they did that. But his post-career, the trades that they pulled off, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but the way that they ended up getting Magic was they traded Gail Goodrich in '77 to New Orleans because they're putting Gail Goodrich and Pistol Pete together. This is going to work, right? Only except it doesn't work. And I think they played a total of 47 games together, 47 games. And back then, Ron, when you were a free agent, you couldn't just walk out the front door like you can today. You had to have some sort of compensation. So they ended up trading Gail Goodrich to New Orleans, and they had no problem giving up 4 1s for him. They gave up 4 1s for him. In the process of them giving up 4 1s for him, one of those 4 1s turned into a number 1 overall pick. That was Magic Johnson.
How many years in advance was that?
They got him in '77. They traded.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
So it obviously, looking back on it, hindsight,
mm-hmm.
It's like obviously the Lakers won with them 4 1s. Do you know who the other 3 picks were?
I don't know who the other 3 picks were, but I do know that Magic was one of those guys.
It's kind of really the only one that really matters.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Chill. You was telling, because we talked about that before. We was talking about all the most lopsided trade and stuff like that. And that was on the list.
Yeah.
Didn't they get James Worthy in a kind of peculiar manner as well?
And this is how the whole thing about being able to trade picks, fellas. Like, where you have to, now you can only trade these many first round picks because the GM, the owner for the Cavs, he was just giving picks away. He was just handing them over, like whatever. You could just hand over picks. And he ended up trading, I believe, Don Hudson to the Lakers for a first rounder. And this was years ago. This was like 3 years ago. He trades Don Hudson to the Lakers for a first rounder. And that first round pick ultimately, because the Cavs were so bad, becomes the number 1 overall pick 3 years later. That's how they get James Worthy. So they end up with James Worthy. They end up with James Worthy. They end up with Magic. And then the next year, which I personally think they should have been charged a felony for this, but it did make sense at the time. And I don't know if you guys saw it, but the Lakers got the number. Actually, the Lakers don't have they got a late first round pick, but just on a whim, they call up the Clippers, who have the number 4 pick. And hey, how about this? How about this, Big Ox? How about you hand over that number 4 pick and you can have Norm Nixon? The Clippers is like, word, we'll do that. That number 4 pick is Byron Scott. So then you end up having James Worthy, Byron Scott, and Magic Johnson for Gail Goodrich, Don Hudson, and a bunch of first round picks.
And y'all wonder why I hate the Lakers.
and this is all Jerry West is doing.
Yes. Yes. Jerry West is in the front office while all this is going on. Yes.
Mind you, I love Showtime. Like, mind you, I have no quarrel with those Lakers. I don't hate the Lakers until 99. You know what I'm saying? But still, though, that's still just crazy. Like, who let the Lakers get away with this, man?
If David Stern was around during that time, he putting the kibosh on that. Like, no, y'all ain't doing that.
David Stern shutting the league down. He's like, we just not playing basketball no more.
R.I.P. David West. I miss David West because, man, he was putting his foot on. Yeah, David Stern. My bad. Yeah, David Stern.
Yeah, David West still kicking. David West.
Yeah, for sure. My bad, David. If you catch me outside, Mr. West.
Yeah, we knew what you was getting at. David Stern, Jerry West.
Yeah, but man, David Stern, man, he saved us from some Laker moves before. He would have done it again.
He told Chris Paul, "Hell no, that ain't going down."
Sit your ass down, Chris.
And so
hell no, y'all ain't doing that.
As the GM, who moved meaner? Who was just really just pulling off blockbusters that they ain't have no business pulling off? Danny Ainge or Jerry West?
Jerry West, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jerry West got Danny?
Well, the reason why I'm saying that, I know Danny got a lot of his stuff from the late great Red Auerbach. I do know that. However, the stuff that Jerry West was pulling off, like he recognized that, Orlando was dragging their feet. Big fella. They don't want you out there. I got some money for you. Come out to Los Angeles. And the money that you're going to make here, you're going to make that ×2 or ×3 when I get you this kid out of high school. Back then, kids coming out of high school into the NBA, which was a much older league, right? Which was a much older league. That was just ridiculous to think about during that time. That to see a guy that's 18 years old that's going to be this. And Jerry West saw it. Jerry West saw it. He was like, I'm going to put you with this guy, and you two guys are going to be fantastic.
In the history of everything, who got the better moves? Celtics or the Lakers? Just taking advantage and just winning trades and getting picks and all of that. Who do you guys think have been more promising?
I still think Danny Ainge should be charged for a felony with that Brooklyn trade. I think he should go to prison for that.
That's grand larceny.
100%. He should go to prison for that.
Yes. So he should be on the run right now.
He should go to prison for that.
No, he shouldn't be on the run. He should be locked up.
Yes, he should go to prison for that. No,
but personally though, chill. I still got to go with Jerry though, Ron, because until as of now, Jerry's have turned into rings, and Danny Ainge's are still up in the air as far as what he's done with the Celtics. Like this year,
I'm pretty Larry Markelle to win the championship.
Yeah, if Danny Ainge takes his talents back to Boston and gets Larry Markelle, like he's not going to win one in Utah. But we'll see though in a couple of days. Maybe the Celtics move will finally turn into something.
Hey, Kuro Sakata. I don't know if you know this, but they was not Danny Ainge. I'm sorry, Red Auerbach and because you was talking about Len Bias, Red Auerbach and Jerry West. They were taking advantages of trades. They were taking advantages of draft picks during that time because guys weren't jumping around during that time. They were taking advantage of draft picks, and I had a lot of luck in it. So if you look at that Celtic team in '86 that won the NBA championship, you're probably wondering how they got such a high pick. Well, the reason why they got such a high pick is because I think it was 2 years before that, the Celtics had won the NBA championship. Gerald Henderson is their starting point guard. Gerald Henderson is not their starting point guard. I'm sorry. He a rotation player, but Gerald Henderson wants to get paid. So Gerald Henderson, they move him to Seattle. And in the process of them moving him to Seattle, same logic with Gail Goodrich, where they think this is going to work. Only problem is that it doesn't work. And they end up with the Celtics end up with the number 3 pick in the draft after winning the NBA championship. So they ended up trading that pick, and it ended up being Len Bias, which it was unfortunate, but that's how they got him. So it'd be like today, if the Celtics win the NBA championship 2 years ago, they traded Grant Williams for, I don't know, whomever, or the guy that you like, Mars, Josh Richardson for Derek White and a first-round pick. And in this draft this year, the Celtics end up winning the NBA championship, and they end up with the number 3 pick in the draft. That's what it was.
Hey, so obviously the Celtics had just turned things back around, and we've seen them do it twice. We've seen them do it around 2008, 2007 when they traded for that big 3. They built up, a good team for those years, even though they only got 1 ring out of it, but they still built up a good ass team. Come right now, they obviously got a crazy team right now. They're up 2-0 in the finals, and they're young, and they got a promising future. But I got to circle back around because we're talking about the Celtics and we're talking about the Lakers. Do you guys believe that in the next 10 years the Lakers pull something off to be back in a promising position?
They always do, Ron.
What type of questions you asking?
They always do. They
And
always do.
I'm not the one to speak on this. It's not.
Why not?
They always do, man. If Jerry West was younger, and I know that Mars hates this, but if Jerry West was 20 years, 30 years younger, Wemby would be in a Laker uniform. They would have finagled somehow to get that number 1 or the number 2 pick, and Wemby would be in the Laker uniform. 100% he would. They would have figured that out. So, I mean, it's not a coincidence that they go from Chamberlain to Jabbar to Shaq to Anthony Davis. It's not a coincidence that happens, that they end up with these kind of players. So it's just a matter of time before they back in effect. It is. Right. It's just a matter of time.
Like before I lay it down, you know what I'm saying? Before I say my prayers and give thanks to the Most High, I make sure to put in my prayers and please sabotage the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? When I say my grace and I say Jesus wept, amen. Oh yeah, that's right. Sabotage the Lakers, please. When I drop some food on the ground, when I pick it up and I say, God made dirt, dirt don't hurt, kiss it to the sky. Also, God, please sabotage the Lakers. Every time. And it just don't work, bro. It don't work. It's like he up there like, yeah, all right. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lakers are gonna. It's like a wheel, bro. They're coming back. They're coming back.
They will.
It's not going to not happen.
Chat. Back. I need y'all to talk to me. I just threw up a poll right now, and I asked you guys, how many years until the Lakers are back on top? 3 years? 5 years? 10+ years? Or next year? Y'all let me know, man. How many years do you think the Lakers circle back around and get back on? But all right, fellas. We didn't really, speaking of the Lakers, we didn't really get a chance to talk about Dan Hurley too much. I know we got game 3 of the finals tonight. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Kyrie. We'll talk about Tatum, our expectations for them tonight. We'll talk about, obviously, who we think is going to win. Porzingis got an injury. But I got to ask you guys, because we didn't talk about it yesterday or the day before. Dan Hurley turns down the Lakers. How we feeling about this?
He did what I would have did.
Which is?
Stay where I'm comfortable.
No, Mars. No. Mars, you can now you can say that.
Stay where I'm comfortable.
How many times have I argued with Mars and Doug? And they're like, no, all money's good money. It doesn't matter.
All money is good money, but he's getting more. He's still gonna get more at UConn.
Oh, will he?
Yeah, he's getting more in college basketball.
He's not getting more at UConn.
Guarantee he is.
Okay. The Lakers offered him 70.
Yeah, that's the.
If you're saying he would have got fired,
he'd be the 6th highest coach in the NBA. That's what they offered him, to be the 6th highest coach in the league, less than Monty Williams. Like, what are we doing?
But is that less than what he's doing at UConn?
College coach. I'm pretty sure I've seen that he's gonna get offered more in college.
Mars, no.
They're gonna re-up his contract.
Bob, sure. No. The Lakers.
I don't know if Ron's saying no. Yeah, and he was gonna get more in college, but maybe I read a wrong report or Ron knows something I don't know.
So you guys,
Ron's saying it with a certainty that he's seen something.
They offered him $70 million.
Okay.
Yes.
Which was double what he's making at UConn.
Now, just so you know, Ron, and I don't know if you know this, Ron, but so we'll rewind, and you guys are West Coast guys. So that $70 million is really like $35 million in Los Angeles. In California. That's before I have to pay my agent. And I'm probably gonna make some more money on endorsements and all that other good stuff. Sure. On top of that, I got to coach LeBron James, who I'm probably not going to be able to coach because Dan Hurley is a Northeast guy. And one of the things that I found out about a lot of Northeast guys, because I'm a Northeast guy, I'm pretty familiar with this. Dan Hurley is not one of those guys that takes a lot of nonsense. He's just not. He's not one of those guys. He's the guy who puts the battery in your back, but basketball is the family business. With basketball being the family business, there's a certain level of respect you got to have. And having to coach a guy like LeBron James and Anthony Davis, plus on top of that, if he was to take the Laker job, I don't know if you guys know this, but this would be the 9th coach that they've had in 10 years. That's no stability right there, which means he'd probably be fired in 2 years. So I'm going to take $35 million to go out to Los Angeles, to be gone in 2 years, to now have to start over. I don't think he ever wanted that job. I think that it was him using that job as leverage for UConn, because I don't know if you know this, Ron, but UConn got 6 years at $50 million on the table for him.
I'm reading the report. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because I knew I read somewhere that he was in negotiations for a new contract. Now it doesn't say the price, but if you're saying 50 million, then okay. But it says last year Hurley signed a 32 million contract that would keep him at UConn until 2029. Before talks with the Lakers began this spring, the 51-year-old already had an offer from UConn to become one of the highest paid NCAA coaches, and those talks will continue. That's from Woj 2 days ago. So yeah, UConn are preparing to offer him more money. Now, is it 70 million? Okay, maybe I was wrong about thinking it was going to be more than what the Lakers offered him. But that's still what I would have done. I've matured. My comfort, my what I'm used to, I'm not gonna give that up for something that would give me more money, but it's not something I really enjoy. Especially when it's between millions and millions. Now, if it was between like 200,000 and 70 million, okay, well, I'll be a bit less comfortable. But if you're offering me 50 million and comfort, and I know where I am, and I have stability, I mean, at that point, I can still buy what I want anyway. I mean, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
So
I also want to point this out to y'all too. You know, being born and raised in California, I understand that taxes and income taxes and stuff like that it's a B word. You know what I'm saying? I want to run this down to y'all. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but 6 years at 70 mil, that's 12 mil a year, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Less than Monty Williams.
Right around 12
federal. So $12 million a year.
I brought Player Choice's personal accountant up here just in case we need help.
I got you. What's good, Jalen? So making $12 million a year in California, this is what happens to your $12 million. Federal income tax. That's federal income tax is 4.3 mil of that.
So now
out of there.
So now we're down to about $7 million. Now we at $7.5 million.
Then you go state income tax.
This is per year, right?
This is per year, annual. Okay. This is annual. I'll make sure to put in the calculators annually. State income tax is 1.6. So you're giving California 1.6 after you gave the, America 4.3.
So now we're down to 6 million. Okay, keep going. That's almost half my dough
already. And then you got to give Social Security $9,100. You got to give Medicare $280,000, and then state disability insurance is another $1,600. That means the total taxes that you spend out of your 12 million is 6.2 million. You go home with 5.7 of your 12.
That's before now, by the way, Ox, I got to find a place to live out there. Not only do I have to find a place to live, I got to pay my agent
in Southern California. We're talking about anything south of Bakersfield.
Right. I gotta find it. I gotta find a place to live out there. I gotta pay my agent because I haven't paid him. In the process of finding a place to live,
agent fees. This doesn't say anything about agent either. True.
Right. Because I gotta pay my agent 4%. On top of that, Ox, in the process of finding a place to live, I gotta eat. Right.
Chill. Let's also just to make sure we got everybody on the same page. That's not 4%. That's not 4% of 5.7. That's 4% of 12 million.
Right.
You pay that 4% on the whole thing.
Right. Not after the government has taken. He hasn't paid me yet. The government has already taken their dough. He hasn't paid me yet. So it just really doesn't make sense to do something like that. When, to Mars's point, when you talked about being comfortable, Mars, he actually does want to coach in the NBA one day. I'm going to get that opportunity being at UConn. One, we're good. Two, me coming back to UConn, that helps recruiting because I turned down the Laker job to come back here. So plenty of players are going to want to come play for me. And the job that he really wants, I think it's a Northeast job. I think it's the Celtics and I think it's the Knicks. I think it's one of those two jobs that I think he really wants. And I could sit here at UConn and wait for that job to open, keep winning. In the process of me winning, get hotter, as opposed to I'm going to go out to Los Angeles for, as Ox said, $5 million, and I'm probably going to get fired in 2 years.
Right.
I don't want that.
I understand why the rich evade taxes. Jesus Christ, I'm not paying all that.
And that's why we'll have conversations a lot of times, and people are like, well, I'd rather live in California or LA than this place. I'm like, yeah, it's cool, like, right. But you got to deal with superficial people. You guys deal with a bunch of materialistic people, and that's no big deal. We still got to talk about Uncle Sam.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? California ain't no joke.
Are you calling Uncle Sam superficial?
I'll call Uncle Sam some things that'll get this whole channel shut down, Ron. Don't ask me.
All right. Back to Dan Hurley.
And Ron, remember too, Ron, we also talking about the business of basketball. And I mentioned this a little while ago. Like, you come from a family of cops, you come from a family of lawyers. This is the business of our family. So if you come to me with a bunch of money, I mean, that's not intriguing. We've been doing this for decades. I mean, what else is there? What else is there? It's just because, you know, you gave me a bunch of money. Now, sure, Jalen, you might come to me and you're going to give me an offer that I can't refuse. Well, am I really ready to sacrifice the business of the family business for money? Even though we've seen a bunch of money over the course of decades. Remember, this is the family business, and it's been the family business for over 50 years. My father been doing this before I was born, and now he's still doing it. I'm 51 years old, and I'm coaching at a high level. So my brother's a head basketball coach. I'm a head basketball coach. My father's in the Hall of Fame. So this is what we do. So if you want to come to us, if you want to come to me with an offer that I can't refuse, it can't just be money. Because if it's just money, you can get ahead with that, because I'm gonna see bread. I ain't worried about that.
Well, let's do Connecticut too. How much?
Yeah, because I was about to say Connecticut taxes ain't just
it's not sweet, but everything does go down. And,
sure.
But are we still talking about 12 mil? What are we
talking about? He's getting 6 years, 32.1 right now, which is what, 5.5 a year, something like that.
Almost
like 5.4, 5.5.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can't speculate. Hold up right quick, Ox. Obviously, we can't speculate on what his new contract's going to be, but let's just pretend like it is in the 50 million range, because I want to see what it would be marked up.
So you want me to do 12 again?
No, let's do 50. 50. So 50 over 50 over 6 years?
50 over 6? Okay.
Yeah. That's what they were saying, Mark.
50 years? Over 6. That's like about
8.2.
Yeah, that's about $8 million a season. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, that's about $8 million a season. And on top.
And by the way, while you looking that up, he's worth every penny too.
Yes,
every single penny.
I mean, the government getting half of it. I mean,
that's what they don't. Isn't it like? Don't they get taxed on each game individually though? I know some players they do that. Like if you play that game. No, because like you know how they. So I know with players, if you play in, let's say Toronto versus you're playing in Seattle or wherever you're playing, you get taxed for that game differently. So I know every game you get taxed differently based on where you play. So I just don't know if that's the same thing for coaches. When you coach that game, you get taxed.
Sure
it would make sense if it was. That's a lot more math.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot.
Then I'm just taking my games off when we go to coach the Lakers.
You're not doing
your home games. You say your home games.
You're not taking West Coast.
You're still getting taxed for it, Mars. You're still getting taxed for it, bro.
I'm a coach from my home in whatever state has the lowest.
You gonna coach on Zoom?
Yeah, whichever state has the lowest taxes, I'm gonna set up there. That's where I'm.
Is that Miami? There's no state income tax in Florida, right?
Mars, you do understand that you're an employee of this company, so when they go somewhere, you as an employee are on the books.
My negotiation, I'll take like 2 million a year less if they let me coach Mobley.
Well, that's why
Mars on the iPad coaching his heat.
Hey man, I'm not taking extra taxes. I'm not doing that. There's no way.
Oh, so you really mean it when you say you matured and now you prefer comfort over the
I mean, hey,
right.
I work in my room already. Hey,
Mars, you do a PC weekend from home this year?
The iPad.
If it's possible, hey, I'll just send me the link.
So you're not pulling up to Houston?
I can tell you where Mars is not pulling up to. He ain't pulling up to Seattle.
Ain't Texas in Texas,
fine? Done with that.
Texas and Texas.
They don't have any state tax in Texas.
Yeah, I remember saying that when people talking about going to Dallas. Yeah,
that's the thing too, though. Like we talked about housing and stuff. There's property tax too. So like if I'm coaching in LA, I'm living in Vegas. Like
it's only a 45-minute flight. It's only a flight for 45 minutes.
But I mean, so let's say if your annual salary at 8.2 mil. In the state of Connecticut, the federal income tax off of that is 3 mil. The state income tax off of 8.2 mil is 573,000. The Social Security is the same, 9,000. The Medicare is 190,000, and family. So they have family leave insurance. And that's $735. So the total tax off of 8.2, they're taking 3.7. You go home with 4.4.
So it's basically the same as you get in LA.
Pretty much.
Without the headache. of being fired in 2 years.
Yeah, and
so
it's gonna be cheaper to
they
live
ain't
too.
offer him more money. So really, they ain't
did.
offer him more money.
They
They should have offered him more. They should have offered him more.
Mm-hmm. They really did.
Well, I mean, technically he did though, because he upped his contract from last year.
I don't. To be honest with you, Ron, I don't think he wanted that job with the Lakers. I think he used it as leverage, and I think he used it as leverage to get a raise at UConn. I do think he wants to coach in the NBA one day, but I do think that he's in a position. He in a catbird seat right now because UConn is good. So I could sit here and I can coach and I could still be good for as long as I want until the job in the NBA that I really want opens up.
How you
and it
pay
just
so
makes
many
sense.
taxes and you can't get universal health care? What the hell is going on?
Hey, I'm trying to tell y'all, Americans.
You paying this much and you can't afford to.
Hey, you know, America always got money to go to war. Always got the money to drop some bombs.
Hey, when it's time to kill some innocent people in the Middle East, we got money for that. But it's time to actually help our people.
No, wait,
Mars,
we're liberating them.
Those two things are not the same, Ox.
Those two things are not the same thing.
Yeah.
When you got things like natural resources and oil, you need liberation, Mars. Come on, man. Think about it.
The slightest inkling of communism, all of a sudden we got all the money in the world. It's time to actually help our people. Oh, we can't afford that.
Well, I mean, I saw where in the Pentagon, the what you call it, the military conglomerate, whatever they call it, is paying for these screws. Like there's these screws that they put into the jet planes, the fighter planes. The screws. I'm talking about the screws on these planes, in the planes. The screw, each screw, I believe I saw cost like $19,000.
Get the hell out of here.
Or so it was something crazy, chill. It was so diabolical. Like I was like watching the clips. It was like a Senate hearing because they were like, you know, some senator was like, yo, why are we still giving all of our money to this to these warmongers? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
There's no reason that they should be charging you this much money, this much for a screw. You can go to Lowe's and get that same screw for 85 cents.
That's facts. So like you said, it's the military industrial complex. You know what they say?
That's military industrial complex.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Yeah. And when they you see all these politicians spending 10, 20, 50, $80 million, and the president's $1 billion on these campaigns. Where do you think that money comes from? Right? It's these companies. Hey, we'll give you $1 million for your campaign. You got to get this passed to give us money or this deal to build that
lobbyists
or whatever. Exactly, right? That's how it works. But back to Dan Hurley. We'll go back to him. I think the UConn job is a great job. Going for 3 straight national champions is a big deal. Trying to be the first coach since John Wooden winning 3 straight. That's a huge deal. So leaving that, you know, this is not something you do unless obviously a perfect situation aroses. 2, you guys mentioned the Lakers. The Lakers, ever since Phil Jackson left, they've just been a turning coat for coaches. Like every couple of years, it seems like a new coach after new.
Dan Hurley would be the 9th coach. He'd be the 9th coach in 10 years.
The 9th coach tenure, absolutely insane. So the Lakers situation, for whatever reason, is just not a situation that I think any coach would really want to go to at the moment. Even when you have guys like a LeBron, Anthony Davis, 2 stars, team is still flawed. LeBron's on his last couple of years. You don't know what they're going to do with AD when LeBron's gone. So it's not the most optimal situation right now for any coach to go there. So I'm not shocked that Dan Hurley turned him down. But JJ Redick still available. JJ, sign that deal, baby. Come to LA.
Is that who's going to get the gig now?
I mean, look, he's one of the top options still.
From what I heard, well, just right quick on Dan Hurley, they said the one of the main factors, it didn't have anything to do with money. Or, I mean, Chill, I know you've heavily alluded to proximity, which I do believe was after you broke it down and you obviously know him, I think that was a huge decision too that went in it, or a huge factor. But they said what was the biggest thing for him was that he wants to make history and come back and win 3 consecutive at UConn. So that's
the legacy,
the biggest thing.
Bro. The legacy.
Again, this is the family business, man, and the money. The money is going to be there. His father had an opportunity to coach college basketball when he was coaching in high school, where we had very little at the high school we had. We didn't even have a gym. Like we had to practice in a bingo hall, and we had to practice at the boys club. So with that being said, he could have took a Division I job. He could have took a college coaching job, but he didn't. He stayed there. So it's not about the bread. It's about the family business and how you are able to enhance your family business. And if you're just doing it just for the bread, eventually you're gonna get compromised. So
that's what's up. I love to hear stories like that. Like what you were saying about his dad. Like, he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna stay here and coach my sons. I'm gonna stay local." That's what's up. But with JJ Redick though, they said that the Lakers and JJ have had minimal contact.
I think JJ he said this in his podcast too. Like, he's focused on the NBA Finals, and then he'll kind of speak about it after. So I just don't know if it's going to be, maybe he just doesn't want to bring attention to it now, whatever the situation is. But I just think it's a post-final situation.
Well, mind you, I know I've said that I wouldn't mind if JJ gets this job. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. But who is he supposed to be? Talking about, I'll holler at y'all in a couple weeks. Let me know.
He's a hot commodity. He's a hot commodity right now, Ox. I think it's a hot commodity.
Hot commodity, like who's in the bidding war for JJ Redick?
I mean, that's true. I mean, who's in the bidding war for coaches? Like, how many teams are kind of
that's what I'm saying. Like, I think there's 2 vacancies right now, or no, just 1 vacancy, right? Just the Lakers, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because Bud got Phoenix, right? Who got Charlotte? No, Charlotte's taken care of. Yeah, it should be a vacancy in Detroit.
Is it not Cleveland? Is Cleveland not still a vacancy?
Yeah, Cleveland. Yeah. Okay.
I was saying I was on mute. So
you talk about places people don't want to coach or places people don't want to live. Cleveland's not really up there.
So what other coaches on the race for this?
Once again, though, like, everybody don't got the privilege of Dan Hurley. A lot of these people, they don't got jobs, and they don't got jobs that are offering you millions. So for the right price and the right deal, you gonna end up in Cleveland. I don't think it's gonna take too much of nothing.
And I don't think the Cleveland tax is as bad as the Lakers tax.
Hey, yo, Cleveland. I
don't know, man. I think the state of Ohio, Mars, in America, I think the state of Ohio has one of the highest taxes in America.
For what?
Cleveland. What are they paying? What are they doing in Cleveland with those tax dollars?
Yeah, I think in the state of Ohio, I think Ohio is one of the highest tax states in the country.
Well, Mars, see, the thing is, and I wish Dion was up here so he could break it down better than me. In 2003, when they drafted a certain individual, the economy in the city went up so much and it was booming that they had to raise the whole state taxes.
Man, you bullshit.
So, LeBron James,
I'm not gonna lie, I do think that there might be a correlation. I'm pretty sure the economy in Cleveland declined after 2010.
Oh, yeah, noticeable. Yeah, it was.
So, like, maybe that is part of the reason. Like, all trolls aside, maybe that is part of the reason.
The LeBron effect, different.
Well, how far isn't? Oh no, that's Cincinnati. Never mind, I'm tripping. I'm like, Cleveland not too far from Kentucky, right? You could just live down there.
No, it's not. Well, Cincinnati is. Cincinnati's like an hour away. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cincinnati not too far. I don't know what you're supposed to do if you're coaching in Cleveland. You just got to suffer. But
I know the Villanova coach too was being talked about. The one that retired from coaching. Yeah, Jay Wright. Sorry, really? Jay Wright. They're trying to talk to Jay Wright. He's broadcasting right now, so I wonder if he'd be interested. That'd be another coach I wouldn't mind.
Hey, y'all should watch what y'all say about Cleveland. Y'all know they still beefing with Joakim Noah. Like 30 years later, they're still mad at Joakim Noah for saying what he said.
Joakim standing on his business.
Joakim was wilding.
Oh, I don't even know if I think he might have just been talking. I don't think he.
I was in. To be honest with you, I was in Cleveland in 2009 when James was there, and nothing else going on in Cleveland but James.
Right. You were living in Cleveland, or just
no? I was just there when Shaq played for the Cavs. I went up there a couple times.
Yeah. Okay.
And this town literally was James. Like, wasn't nothing else going on in Cleveland. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe you guys can look this up, but I remember it. I think when James left in 2010, business in the downtown area dropped 47%, something like that.
Yeah, it was some insane numbers.
Yeah, something crazy like 47% when he left. Like, nobody cared about going down there anymore.
For a 5-6 year stretch, Cleveland was like the center of the basketball world. Everyone just loved Cleveland. Just when LeBron was still well liked by everyone. The young kid doing his thing, exciting basketball to watch. Other sport like Cleveland Browns weren't doing anything. The Cleveland Indians weren't really doing anything. The other sports teams there, so it was just the Cavaliers and LeBron James really kind of taking over that city at that time.
Yeah, but let's just be clear about this, Jalen. Like, nobody outside of Cleveland. I know you love LeBron, but nobody outside of Cleveland gave a damn about Cleveland because of LeBron James.
You lying, because I know you was watching their game. Stop it now. Everybody in the league.
I might have watched a game or two, but I've never once, gave a damn about Cleveland.
Sure, I hate to give that about Cleveland. I'm talking about the Cavaliers watching their games.
And that's all due respect. That's all due respect to Cleveland. Shout out to Cleveland.
Hey, was before LeBron, like, what was the best that Cleveland was?
What, Craig? You
the late 80s, early 90s, right?
And that was what, a couple, they second round runs? I don't think they ever went to the Eastern Conference Finals, did they?
Yeah, in 92 they went to the East Finals.
Okay, and then Jordan put them out there.
Put some respect on the Cavs, man. Mark Price.
So LeBron really took that franchise, made them back relevant again, made the city relevant, left, did him dirty for real, came back.
100% he did.
Got him a ring, and then left again.
Yeah. I like to think that Cleveland was, somewhat respected at times, not like, not praised, but respected. Like with Ron, when my man, when he was coaching, when he got there, when he was coaching there,
who? Yeah, man.
What year?
From Seattle.
Who's the coach?
Come on, y'all know. Chill. You know what I'm talking about. The coach.
I don't know who's from Seattle.
Brother, the black dude. What's his name? That coached here.
No. He used to coach. Why am I? This is
who
crazy.
Wait. I'm sorry.
When he was coaching, he was coaching in Cleveland.
Lenny?
Lenny Wilkins. Thank you, Lenny Wilkins. Yeah, thank you, Lenny Wilkins. My bad. Yeah, Lenny Wilkins. I would like to think in those Lenny Wilkins days that Cleveland was somewhat respected.
Oh yeah,
yes, he was.
When they made the conference run.
Yes, he was. 100% he was. Yeah, everybody knew who Lenny Wilkins was. They just kept running into Jordan. That was the problem.
He coached
the Bulls. That's not Jordan. The Bulls.
That was the biggest problem. Sorry, the Bulls. I apologize. The Bulls.
Well, at one time, Chill didn't because that's who drafted Kevin Johnson, right?
Cleveland did, yes.
Yeah, at one point. At one point they had Kevin Johnson, Mark Price, and another point guard all on the roster, right?
Terrell Brandon.
Thank you,
man. Shout out to Brandon for real.
Yeah, man. Terrell Brandon, that's a Portland legend. Yeah, man, come on. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I thought so. I was thinking about that. I couldn't remember who else it was, but it was Terrell Brandon.
Yep. And Mark Price and Kevin Johnson, they were basically in a quarterback controversy, and the first one to blink ended up getting traded. So Kevin Johnson ended up getting traded, even though he went down to Phoenix, became an All-Pro. But both of those guys were like this the entire time. Both of those guys were neck and neck.
They had Ron Harper.
Kevin Johnson, man. Sacramento high school legend.
They was on their way, Moss. They were on their way and Ron Harper tore his knee up too. They were on their way to doing something special. Ron Harper tore his knee up.
Chill. Should we talk about Ron Harper as a what if? I know he restored his career, ended up getting some rings and played a good role. But even let's say for instance, D Rose was to get a couple rings. We still talk about him as a what if. He's still in the NBA. And there's still been other guys that have Grant Hill sustained injuries and he played. We talk about him as a what if. Why don't we talk about Ron Harper as a what if?
Because he ended up winning championships, playing with Jordan and playing with Shaq and Kobe. So it still became something as opposed to if his career just died out. I mean, before he got with the Bulls, I mean, he was still cutting ass, Ron. He was still 19, 20 a game. He was still doing all of that stuff, right? He was still doing all of that. And in the process of him doing all of that, that's how he ended up getting with the Bulls. So before he tore his knee up, one of the most athletic guys, could knock down the mid-range, one of the better one-on-one players. I remember him dunking on Doc, even though Doc was over. He basically was one of those guys that pushed Doc into retirement. But, Ron Harper was he was a phenomenal player.
A phenomenal player. He ended Doc's career?
Not ended it, but he made Doc realize that, maybe it's time to start wrapping this up because these young boys coming in and I'm not sure if I could still compete at this level anymore. And, Doc was still good, but he wasn't like that anymore. And, Ron Harper coming out, he went to the University of Miami, Ohio. He averaged 20 and 10. He was player of the year in that league twice in back-to-back seasons. But back then, a knee injury, an ACL injury It was a death sentence. If you did that, that's not like it is today, where guys come back from ACLs and they super sharp. Zach LaVine, he was dunking from the free throw line. What the hell? So back then, that was a death sentence if you tore your knee up. But Ron Harper was able to recover, and he was still awesome. Still awesome.
Well, sure. I think that's a big reason what you just said. But I think the major cause of nobody talking about Ron Harper as a what if is because a lot of people today don't know how good Ron Harper was. Yeah. Like when that clip, like when you made that clip, and I look on the comments, you read the comments on those clips like from TikTok and Instagram, whatever, and you can realize like, oh, people don't know about Ron Harper. They don't. Nobody really like a lot of people did not know Ron Harper was that good.
They'll remember his Chicago years.
Yeah, remembers a strong word.
Would not remember. They heard about it.
With that being said, though, Morris, I couldn't believe,
and the Lakers too.
I couldn't believe when I finally went back and did my due diligence and just watched Ron Harper. I couldn't believe how dope he was because I only remembered him on the Lakers and them last couple years on the Bulls. But I didn't know about Cleveland Ron Harper. That's the only Ron Harper I resonated with. So when I started hearing, from my uncles and whatnot, older cousins, Ron Harper, like what you seen on the Bulls, what you seen on the Lakers, I was nothing. Ron Harper was this, that, and the third.
He was,
yo. What are you talking about? Shut up.
He was.
Went back and looked at it. I was like, boy,
he really was.
Somebody in the chat said, why would Ron Harper be a what if? Because he was really that good.
He was
before the knee injury.
It's unfortunate that injuries really screw guys up, and we don't really get to see what they really could have been. Like, I would have loved to have seen what Derrick Rose would have been. I would have loved to have seen if Leonard would have been able to hold up. How much better could Kawhi Leonard have been had he been able to hold up? Had this knee issue not been a problem? How much better could he have been? How much better could Grant Hill have been? I thought Grant Hill was on his way to being a top 10 player, to be honest with you.
All those players were on their way to being, top 15.
Penny Hardaway.
But
we saw
Kawhi Leonard was on his
Brandon Roy.
Go, chill. We talked about this before. Like
Bill Walton.
Like Brandon Kawhi, if Kawhi stayed healthy, I could see where Kawhi would have like 7 rings right now if he was healthy.
Can we just break down this timeline? Hey, can you please break down this timeline of how this could have went? No injuries.
He won every ring since 2019. No injuries. That's what it is.
17, 21.
So that's 4 right there. Because he gets it in 2000.
Man, if injuries don't exist, that Nets team is winning.
Yeah, there's
2014, right?
But then wait, so there's those injuries, and then there was those injuries, and then I also in that though I did include the what if the Ray Allen stuff. Like so,
Mars,
you can put it down to 6 because the Ray Allen one doesn't really count. That had nothing to do with him being injured.
Mars, you think the Bucks win it in 21 if James Harden? You think Brooklyn beats them?
I think
the Clippers win that championship.
The Nets were gonna win if they were healthy.
If you take health out of it, I'm with Mars too. They're beating.
No injuries at all.
I'm 1,000. I'm 1,000%. So you can't convince me otherwise.
The Clippers, Mars, in 21, no injuries. The Clippers.
That's who's playing in the finals.
That's who's winning the championship.
They're playing the Nets in the finals and losing. Shout out to them.
That's fine. I don't want.
Maybe the Lakers probably would have beat Phoenix in round 1 too. So I don't know who would they have played in round 2.
They would have played the Jazz.
Wasn't Paul George hurt that year too? Didn't he have like a shoulder injury?
No, Paul George was healthy and then
he was fully healthy.
No, they would. I'm sorry, Mal. They would have played Denver because they ended up sweeping. They ended up sweeping Denver.
Yeah, Denver round 2. Yeah, they would have dealt with Denver. So it would have been Lakers Clippers conference finals. In my opinion,
the Clippers beat that ass.
Lakers Clippers conference finals. Then out east, they would have been Nets Hawks. And I mean, okay.
Nets sweeping that one. I think another player who people forget too about what could have been a what if. Jay Williams from Duke. We listed a lot of players. Like there's not a lot of players in college, especially at the point guard position, who were better than him at his best in college. Like he was insane, and his NBA, like his game, I think transit is so amazing to the NBA.
Sure,
he
has motorcycle accidents. That's a guy who I think would have been a Hall of
Fame. It was because of him they started putting those clauses in contracts, right?
Yeah, I think 100%. He was one of the big factors.
Markelle Fultz, I believed.
I still
hope.
Fultz had a really flawed game though coming into the league.
Here go Joe Hayes, man. Here go Joe Hayes.
No, he did not.
He was slow as hell.
Yeah, man.
But he was slow as hell, but it's still going dunk on you. He had that Luka, not even Luka. I can't say Luka. he had that athleticism where it was so deceptive, but it was there though. Like he was still blowing by.
I did see him run down the gut. I did see him run down the gut at the University of Washington.
Times, though, Chill.
Yeah, I did see that. But he had a funky game though. He didn't have one of those games where it looked like it was going to translate to the pros at a high level. It just looked like he could be good, but I'm sorry, Mars. He was
100% sold on him.
I was 2,000,000% sold.
Oh,
he was my number one pick by a landslide.
And he ain't got you, Mars. He got you.
And you know, Chill. He went to University of Washington, so he was right in my backyard, and I was paying more attention to him just because he was here. And I just couldn't believe how this dude was getting 30 a night. I don't think he averaged 30, but he was good for 30 a night, and it was everywhere. Getting to the rack, dunking on people, acrobatic finishes, mid-range was crazy, was still shooting threes off the dribble, pick and roll game was mean, assist numbers was there.
When he tried to play
defense, rebounding numbers.
How big was he legit? How big was he legit, Ron?
6'5", 6'4", 6'5".
Good size.
Was he that big?
With long arms too.
Okay. 7-foot wingspan. 7-foot wingspan.
Oh, man.
Okay. I'm can't prove it, so it sounds stupid. I stand on the fact that if he stays healthy, I think he's the best player from his class. But we'll never know. So.
Better than Okay.
Yes, that's how good I think he's gonna be. But
wow,
hey, man,
there wasn't even nothing wrong with that boy. They did all the X-rays, the MRIs, and everything. There was nothing wrong with that boy's shoulder. It was all up here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I can't wait. Like when Markelle's career is over and he speaks about what happens, because I don't know. Like I have no idea how he just forgot how to shoot overnight. I want to hear from Markelle what happens. Maybe it was mental. Maybe there was an accident and then he got in his head. Maybe there was something going on that he couldn't expect. I just want to know what happened.
Right. Mars, I'm here to tell you. Markelle could come out here and say nothing happened. He could just say he woke up one day and he wasn't able to play. I don't believe him. Markelle was that good coming out of college. It had to be something. He had to mess up his shoulder. It was something. Somebody in the chat saying the yips. I believe the shoulder injury. I have to.
Mars,
it's no way, Chill, that he went to sleep one day being that dope and woke up the next day and just couldn't shoot.
Well, the Monstars got a hold of him. They took his talent. The Monstars. They took his talent.
That's more believable because like they were saying that they X-rayed him. They went through everything. They checked.
Nothing was wrong with him.
They couldn't figure out. They couldn't find anything physically wrong with him.
They couldn't figure out what was wrong with Lonzo Ball for a year.
Yeah, but they saw there was something structurally going on though. They saw
Mars. Here's the difference though, Mars. I mean, healthy, right? We're talking about him staying healthy, and I like to think that I respect your basketball opinion, Mars. You think he's better than Donovan Mitchell? Because Donovan Mitchell was in that draft too.
I think he would have been.
De'Aaron Fox was in that draft too, Mars.
Jason Tatum was in that draft.
Jason Tatum was in that draft.
That's a great draft.
And that's how highly I
Laurie Markkinen was in that draft, Mars.
Mars,
if I'm saying Jason Tatum, I think he would have been. But we'll never know.
That's tough.
Like we'll never know. And I'm fine people saying, "Oh, you're a casual." Like I'm just saying what I thought Markelle was gonna be before the draft. I'm not having revisionist. I'm saying in 2017, before he got drafted, what I thought he was gonna be. I think what I thought he was gonna be is better than what Jason Tatum has become, what Donovan Mitchell has become, Larry Markkinen, De'Aaron Fox. That's how good I thought he was gonna be. Yeah. So I'm saying that standing on something I said 7 years ago and saying I never got to see it unfold to know if I was right or wrong. And obviously now we've seen it unfold with everything that's happened. Yeah, he didn't become that. But I still think he could have if everything went right. So that's where I'm
Mars, to be honest with you, I'm sorry, go ahead, Ox.
No, you go ahead, stay on that. I'm gonna talk about Lonzo Ball. Go ahead.
I can because I feel the same way about Thomas Robinson. I thought he was Malone 2.0. When he was coming out of college, I thought he was Karl Malone 2.0.
Why would you go? You did not have to do that.
I'm sorry, Ox. But we're talking about guys who, like Mars brought up Markelle Fultz in that draft, and I'm thinking about the 17 draft and how awesome it was, and the guys that were in that draft with Laurie Markkinen and Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, and De'Aaron Fox. I think Bam was Bam in that draft too? I think Bam was in that draft too.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, Bam was in that draft too.
Malik
Monk was in that draft.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's a great draft, and I think it's a great draft, and I think Markelle was rightfully the number 1 pick and was going to be the best player.
Right.
But what's his name? Drink More Water said in the chat. He said, hopefully Ox sees this. Fultz had thoracic outlet syndrome, which is untraceable by an MRI.
Did you already look that up? Because I'm looking it up.
I didn't look up if it's untraceable by an MRI, but I did look up what it was.
What?
I got it right.
Thoracic outlet syndrome.
That's what I'm saying, Ron. What the hell?
It's a term that refers to 3 related syndromes involving compression of the nerves, arteries, and veins in the lower neck and upper chest area. And this compression causes pain in the arm, shoulder, and neck.
That's where the shot got tricky.
So he couldn't.
That's what made the shot tricky.
He did not full shoulder rotation.
Chill.
That
pull-up jumper from Markelle was smooth as butter. I'm telling you, it was. The boy was nice. His game was not predicated on all athleticism. His game was predicated a lot on skill. Handle was. Oh man, I'm telling you, I just couldn't believe it. Still to this day, I couldn't believe it. And you know what? I hate Philadelphia now. As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, they ruined Markelle. They ruined Ben Simmons. They ruined Jahlil Okafor. They ruined Nerlens Noel. They ruining Joel Embiid right now. Tyrese Maxey. Hey, you better get up out of there. You might be next. Hey, they ruined Tony Roden. I can keep going.
Tony Roden was fooled. Look, let me say this though.
He was fooled. He was fooled, Ox.
All right, man.
Hey, Ox, stop, Ron. Tony Roden was fooled. Stop, Ron.
I understand Tom was out there getting busy though. I
understand how dope Tom was back in the day. But this is what I want to say real quick. This thoracic outlet syndrome, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds a lot worse. I'm trying to tell you, man, you go see the chiropractor twice a week, you straight. You know what I'm saying? That ain't nothing but a little.
Why did he not think of that? All he had to do is go to a chiropractor and he would have been an all-star.
I'm telling you,
all the millions of dollars in their medical training staff.
I'm telling you, a lot of times it's really that simple. I remember I could not walk for like 2 weeks. I went to the chiropractor and boom, I'm hooping again.
But all right, so you guys know that I know.
Go to the physio. They put that elbow right there. Bow, knock you out. You good. But the thing about it was because somebody in the chat was saying that if they would have saw what was wrong with Alonzo, they would have fixed it. That's just not how it works. Sometimes surgeries don't work. Sometimes surgeries
they make it worse. Actually, in fact, yeah, right. And that's worse.
So chill. That's what I'm saying. When I first got on the panel, I was fresh off a meniscus surgery. My knee was worse after that one. A week and a half ago, she went in there and just cleaned it up. Chill. I feel like I can run a mile right now with no pain at all. My knee, and that was this surgery compared to the first surgery was very less invasive. All she did was just go in there, scoop the gunk out. And so I'm saying, like, every surgery isn't the same. Like, you're not, just because I saw what's wrong in the MRI doesn't mean that you're gonna fix it. Lonzo Ball was talking about it. They saw what was wrong with it. It was somewhat of a misdiagnosis, but they just didn't realize certain things. I can't remember exactly how I said it, but they went in there and did his surgery, and they saw what was wrong. That doesn't mean they can fix it every time, though. So this thing with Markelle Fultz, I'm trying to tell y'all, man, that's
mental. I think a lot of it.
I remember with Lonzo, they got to a point where they said they don't know why he's still feeling pain. And then they went and re-looked at him, and then they figured out it was something to do with like bone on bone and like meniscus.
Yeah, that's because the meniscus they took it out.
They've taken out so much that it became bone on, but like they got to that point, but they were looking at his knee and they didn't understand why he was still feeling pain
because they thought they fixed it.
Yeah, and I'm just saying with Markelle, maybe they ain't see why he was feeling pain, but I refuse to believe his jump shot went from what it was in college to where it became when you seen him in the Sixers training facility.
Yeah, it was.
What's that?
Yo, it's just not possible.
It was like watching like the Monstars.
Oh, yeah, that's just regular.
The Monstars took your powers. That's what it looked like. That's exactly what it looked like. He just
had a lot to do with some mental stuff.
Yo, Jalen, he had some tightness back here. He had a knot right here. He should have just went and got a massage and pop out.
I'll tell you, those
I know I'm sick of this, man. I'm telling y'all, I'll be running with this dude every other week. I think that the remedy to everything is to go see the physio or the chiropractor. You got a headache? Go see the chiropractor. You got a broken ankle? Go see the chiropractor.
If you got a headache, 100%, you might just have some pressure back here, some hypertension and stuff.
That's actually true, though. That's
that's all Porzingis got to do before game 3. Just go to the chiropractor.
Yeah.
What did he wear?
Retinaculum.
I don't even know what that is.
Retinaculum. It's something in your ankle.
What part of the body? Oh, it's the ankle? I don't.
Yeah, ankle. Yeah, retinaculum.
You can't, but you can get what you call it? When they put the needles in you?
Acupuncture.
Acupuncture. That's really
that's what you gotta do, KP. You'll be out there hooping.
Yeah, I mean, because when you know it happens and all the blood goes there and it fixes it.
Yeah, exactly. Man.
Yo, what's going on, Crunch?
What's up, y'all?
What's good?
How's everything going?
Everything going good. Hey, look. Everything's going
cloudy over there.
Hey, look. Everything.
Crush still got the pep in his step with Kyrie struggling like this.
Hey, look. Everything going swimmingly.
Swimmingly.
Optimistic. Yeah, optimistic.
Are we swimming upstream swimmingly, or are we going with the current?
I don't know if we swimming or we drowning, but we in the water.
Doing?
We'll say that.
What are we doing?
I don't know what we're doing, but we in the
They got a lifeboat coming. No Porzingis.
We good. We good, man.
Now,
we are good.
Let's be clear, Clarence. Okay, I ain't jumping the gun here because I know at any point Irv can go off.
Yeah,
right? I know that at any point Irv could get busy and he could go off. But I have to admit, Drew Holiday's been doing a really good job on him. He has.
That's what he think.
Derek White too.
What you mean? That's what he think.
This is the thing, right? I'm gonna tell y'all what's gonna happen, right? The reason why it's going swimmingly, the Mavs gonna win the next 3 games, bro. First of all, it's no Porzingis. They going back to Dallas. Tatum hasn't shown me nothing. He hasn't shown me anything. So y'all mean to tell me that we're gonna rely on Drew Holiday and Jaylen Brown to lead y'all to the championship against Luka Doncic? Luka Doncic is not finished. We still worry about Kyrie. We haven't seen the best from Luka this series. Kyrie is definitely going to turn it around, get some momentum going. Then they're going to take that momentum back to Game 5 in Boston. And Kyrie going to have a phenomenal Game 5 in Boston because remember Game 5 2016. You know what I'm saying? So
if that's true, Crunch, what you talking about, Boston ain't winning another game in this series. Series is over.
Well, no, because then what's going to happen is Boston is going to then take that, and then they're going to come back and win a game, and then they're going to go to Game 7 in Boston.
I mean, if you think Kyrie's going to bounce back, which I think he will, he'll have a better Game 3 for sure. I think he'll be better. But I think Tatum is just going to play better too. Well, I still think Tatum has played that bad as people think.
No, he's been playing terrible.
Hold on. When your team wins by 20 that first game, and you clearly your team is playing well, everyone's hitting shots. It's not Tatum's job to put up a 37,
but
7-7
he's still shooting a lot of shots.
It's his job to make.
But that's the thing, Jalen.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying
100%.
He's still shooting a lot of shots, and then he's shooting a terrible percentage because of that. It's just that he has a lot of cushion on his team. But think about it.
Yeah, for sure.
He's allowing Dallas to get back in these games. They cut it to 8 points. If Kyrie has a good game, that's a dub. If Porzingis doesn't explode in the first quarter, that's a dub. If Kyrie has a good game, minus Porzingis. So those two factors, Porzingis already out, and we know Kyrie's going to play better. Plus, before the series, I did kind of low-key, I was suspicious of Tatum. I thought it was going to be a worse finals than the first time, and it's already looking like it. Now, I think somebody said it. I think I heard somebody said it. I'm not sure if it was Chill, because Chill always be cooking. And so the thing is Tatum, they say he's playing decent. I've heard somebody say he playing like a finals MVP, but if they lose, is he putting up finals MVP numbers right now? No. So if they lose, that's going to look bad, bro. Sub 20, sub 40% from the field. I don't know about that.
You guys do know as of right now he's shooting over all his finals games. 35%. And I think it's minimum 150 shots in the finals. He's shooting the worst percentage out of anybody to shoot 150 shots in the finals.
In the history of the NBA Finals.
Yeah, this is terrible.
I think
in the history of the NBA Finals, not like in the last 10 years, in the history of the NBA Finals.
And then what if Porzingis being out kind of throws off that chemistry a little bit? I think Tatum, like this team comes off, they always came off as a team that they'll take their foot off the gas. Like they get a little comfortable when they start playing well. Now they think it's sweet. Like now it's like, oh, we about to just win, we about to close it out. If they have a bad Game 3, I think Dallas is going to try to blow them out Game 3. Now they're nervous Game 4. Now Kyrie wants to turn up Game 5. They get a win Game 6. They're gonna get a win in Game 6. I think Boston is.
Now here's the flip side. Here's the flip side to your logic, Crunch. Just so we clear, they've only had Porzingis for 40 playoff games. They basically not had him for the whole playoffs, and they've won. Now I can appreciate the road hasn't been as bumpy. I can appreciate that. You still got to win, right? So they know how to play without him. With that being said, what I equated to cooking. Okay, Jalen, you ran out of seasoning. The meal is almost done. You ran out of seasoning. Are you going to the store to get more seasoning, or are you just going to work it out? Because you got people coming over. You got people coming over. And you got people coming over soon.
What ethnicity are the people? What ethnicity are the people coming over?
Maybe good question, Mars. Very good.
Maybe you can get away with it. I'm just saying.
Okay, I can tell you. I can tell you who you can't get away with it. You can't get away with it with people that look like me. So let's be clear.
And the thing is,
I am coming over.
And Chilltown. And the thing is, Chilltown. Porzingis about to leave. He taking most of the food with him. So he gonna take a whole bunch. So he leaving.
I mean, they still got plenty of food there.
Yeah, but is it gonna work out with Kyrie?
It turns to a whole different menu, though, Jalen.
Here's the difference.
It turns to Porzingis leaves. It turns to a whole different menu.
Porzingis taking away he's taking the macaroni and cheese.
Okay, he is, but we still got the steak.
They ain't have Porzingis. All I've heard was it was a cakewalk. Now all of a sudden they miss Porzingis is detrimental.
But that's the thing. They got away with it because of the teams they were playing against. Because now Donovan Mitchell quit. Then he was playing against the Pacers, and I mean the Pacers. I didn't even think the Pacers were gonna be that far, low key. But I mean,
nobody
they did that.
Nobody had Indiana in the East Final.
But they're a good team, though. But then Tyrese Halliburton was out for the last 2 games. Right. So remember, you beat them the first 2 games, and then Tyrese Halliburton's out for the last 2 games. Which those last 2 games, Nembhard was cooking y'all. So after game 2, it seemed like after game 2, it's like they take their foot off the gas, bro. Luka Doncic and Kyrie about to turn it up a notch, though.
They haven't lost a road game, though.
Not only have they
taken their foot off the gas, they seem to be winning these games.
Not only have they not lost the road game, Mars, they've every game 2 that they've lost, they've gone undefeated after that. That's number 1.
But Donovan Mitchell quit.
Even okay, so let's just say for the sake of argument that he doesn't. Let's just say for the sake of argument, Jared Allen does it. They still beat Cleveland. They just make it more interesting.
I don't know though. With the way how Donovan Mitchell was cooking them in game 2, I think
he was 100%.
Donovan was going crazy.
Yes, and I just think that the series gets extended more than anything. But when I think about my best player, I'm on record saying this, that when you get to the NBA Finals, it's going to come down to my best player is better than your best player. Mm-hmm. I respect the fact of what Luka is doing and how good Luka is. And Jason Tatum, the analogy that I give is just like the food, it's like a running back. Okay, it's great that Derrick Henry picked up the blitz. It's great that I could drop the ball off to him in the flat. At some point, I got to be able to stick this ball in your gut, and you got to move us down the field. Jason Tatum, can you get me a game? Because the best players, they could get me a game. And if you could get me 1 game, us going back to Boston up 3-1, this series is over because you put them in a chokehold.
Yep. I mean, chill. With that being said, like Boston got they like USC back in the day. They got like 4 running backs.
Even if that's true.
Shout out Lindell White.
Shout out Lindell White. Running back rooms all going to the NFL.
Even with all of them running backs. Even with all of them running backs. Who was the guy, Ron?
Reggie Bush.
Lindell White.
Reggie Bush.
Who
did they give the football to when we have to win a game?
I mean, chill. On the 1-yard line, they're giving the ball to Lindell White.
Is Tatum that guy?
Can you give me a game? Get me 1 game. That's it.
Is Tatum really that guy, though?
Yeah, but we seen him do that, though, Crunch. We seen him do that in Game 7 last year. We seen him do that in Milwaukee. We seen him do that in Philly in Game 6. We seen him get you a game. We've seen him do that. The question is can you get me 1 game? I think them dudes will take over the rest.
Chill. You know, this is the big reason why I be critical on JT, though. It's because I know he's capable of doing this.
Yes.
And I just be like, why? Why? Can you just wake up?
I ain't asking you to throw. I'm not asking you to throw the unit on your back. I ain't asking you to do that because you don't have to throw the unit on your back. Can you give me? Because Kyrie can give you a game. Luka could give you a series. You've seen Luka throw a crew on his back, and he can give you a series. I just need 1 game from you because I feel like you throw these dudes in the hole 3-0, 3-1, you put them in the chokehold.
Or they can play the 3-0 leads because whoever goes, I'm telling you, Boston got 3-0, Dallas in 7.
It's gonna be one more day.
Mars, you've been saying that for 2 years.
And I'm gonna be right at some point.
At some point,
I'm gonna be right.
3-0 logic, Mars. Every year, this team is down 3-0. This team is 7. No,
I just think
I'm gonna be right. I was close to being right last
It's
year.
getting white, Mars. By the time that happens, we look like Oscar Robertson. By the time that happens, Mars.
I was close to being right last year. We got sold because JT got hurt, but I was close. I was like this close to being right.
Almost a win.
Mars, for what it's worth, when it happens, I'm gonna pretend like that's the first time I ever heard you say
facts. I'm like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I ain't been wrong 17 times.
I understand why you want to choke this dude. I understand why you want to choke this dude.
You want to choke Mars?
I'm so sick of you. You, Ron.
That's not, yeah,
I understand why you want to choke this dude out sometime. I swear, yo. Give me a break.
All right, so we got to dive into these super chats, but we're not done talking about Game 3. We got a lot to talk about. With just a whole lot of things, but let me get to these super chats right quick and tell everybody like the video if you haven't, and just salute to everybody.
Please like the video, man. You dude's hilarious, bro.
Dante Spears became a member today. Shout out to Dante Spears. He's the only one so far, but I'm assuming we got a couple more on the way. If y'all not a member yet, go ahead, enter the chatter tier, enter the rookie tier, enter the all-star tier, or you could be a GOAT like Dorian Clayton and my man Kendall Daniels, enjoying the Hall of Fame tier. Speaking of which, another member, YSN Money, has been around for about 15 months. And he said, my boy really brought Kobe and Shaq to LA. Gold emojis, RIP logo.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace to Jerry West, man. I love Jerry West. I always respected Jerry West, man. Rest in peace to him.
Drink more agua with the super chat. He said, what are some of the wackiest things you've seen on a basketball court? Someone on Open Gym said Harden didn't get the attention Curry got. It made me remember Rubio basically giving Harden doggy and Bledsoe playing his left side.
Oh no.
The way Utah defended him was interesting.
I hated that. I was so Mars, I cannot explain to you the anger that I felt when I saw that. Like my blood was boiling when I saw them standing behind him, acting like, bro, that pissed me off so bad, bro. I swear, bro.
And Ox, I got a friend of mine one of my best friends who played in the NBA was trying to sell me that this was a good idea because all you got to do is bring the extra defender up, and you bring the extra defender up, you can double him. Then what happens when he drops the ball off the Capella on the block and he's dunking the ball all night? I can't.
That was okay, but for what it's worth, James Harden was scoring inefficiently in that series, so it worked in that sense. So there's
in every other way.
Mars, are you trying to sell us that was good?
That's exactly what he's trying to do.
No, what I'm trying. Okay, I'm not selling anything. What I'm saying is, I understood the rationale. Now, would I have done it? No, I'm not. I'm not as, I'll call it creative. I'm not as creative, but I understand why Quinn Snyder and his coaching staff tried it because the step back was unguardable. So if we just sit on the step back, we got Rudy down there. James Harden's not playing in the mid-range at that point. So we know if we force him inside the line, he's gonna drive into where we got Rudy. Now we have to be able to play the lob and the floater, which causes problems. But I saw the rationale. I saw what they were trying to do. And Houston's offense wasn't great in that series. I mean, they still won the series. But like, I understood what they were trying to get to.
I can see what you're saying, Morris. Honestly, I can. If you look at it from that way, creativity, all that. But there are just certain things in basketball that we don't like. There's certain rules of basketball that you don't, no matter what. I don't care what area it is, you don't go away from staying between your man and the basket. I'm on defense. I'm on defense. I stand in the way. I stand between my man and the basket. Especially if I'm on ball. Now, if I'm rotating over here, my man happens to be over there, and I'm under the hoop, I can understand that. But especially if you have the ball, I can't. I understand.
James Harden changes the dynamic, man. You hear Trevor Ariza say that James Harden's the best scorer he ever played with.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. I'm not mad at Trevor Ariza for feeling that way.
Come on, man. James Harden changed the way people had to
he played with Bryant.
Yeah, he played with LeBron. He played with Bron
and James.
Yeah, and he's saying, and so like James Harden, like the revisionist history on James, like I understand. Oh, he never won. He folded in the biggest games, whatever. What was happening when James Harden was at his apex, we hadn't seen before.
And so I was saying this during that time, during
there was definitely the people like this isn't good basketball. I understand that, but we hadn't seen this before, and teams hadn't seen it before. So teams are trying to come up with ways
Anything.
to stop what they hadn't seen before.
Any and everything.
So I like, would I have done that? Probably not. But I understood it, and it made sense when I tried to think about why a team would try that. So I'm not mad at it, and I think in order, every part of innovation in the NBA, there has to be some things that teams tried that didn't work. That was just something that Utah tried and hasn't been tried ever again since. But like, there's a bunch of things that have been tried once and it never works and it never happened again. And then there's things that teams tried, and then now that's just the norm of how we play basketball now. So I think
it's a dumb idea if it doesn't work. If it would have actually worked, we'd be like, that was genius.
Exactly. That's how people judge ideas, by if it works. Not
the outcome.
The process is irrelevant. If it works, it's great.
Remember when what's his name? Remember when Lennox Lewis knocked out Rockman? When Rockman's defense was this right here? Like, it might be a good idea against a smaller dude, but when you go up against a 6'5" dude who's got a 6'8" reach, who will reach right over you and crack your nose, okay, this is a terrible idea. No.
He tried something new. He tried something new, Joe.
Let's try this as defense.
Guys, what I'm trying to get across here is that there's a difference between trying something new and trying something stupid. Like,
but do you only know it's stupid once you tried it, though?
That's the thing, though. James Harden was so good that they had to do something.
Okay, I could dig that. Do something, but don't do something dumb.
Is it dumb? Well,
for what I think it worked at what they were trying to do. They slowed down Houston's offense. They slowed down James Harden's scoring.
Yeah.
They did the things they wanted to do. Now they couldn't score on the other end, but that's a different issue. Defensively, their plan worked. They just couldn't score to capitalize on it. But their plan worked, in my opinion.
Switching, like, I don't know at the beginning of basketball, like, what was the regular way to play defense. I don't know if they played man-to-man or zone. But look, just for the sake of argument, let's say that they played a zone defense. The first coach that said, you know what? How about you guard him, you guard him, you guard him, you guard him. Stay with your man. We'll do this, we'll do this. That was trying something new. That was trying something innovative. That was like, you know what? This is a new way to do this. Now, standing behind the guy to stop him from stepping back when the rim is over there, I get what you're saying, Morris. I understand. I swear I do. And I'm not trying to be, whatever about this. I just think it was just idiotic. Like, that's just terrible basketball.
Ox, and I stand with you, and I can't believe I'm about to do this because y'all know how I feel about James Harden. Mm-hmm. But shout out to James Harden, man. To force another head coach and another man in the NBA to guard you like that. That's crazy. Yo, I'm guarding you from behind. I'm playing defense on you from behind. Yo, your step back is so lethal that I'm basically giving you the lane. Go that way. Do anything but step back.
We had to come up with something.
It only works because they had Rudy in the lane, by the way.
Okay.
Now, if they would have had Jokic, like, they're not doing it. So it's personnel, but yeah, James Harden was different. Like, 2019 James Harden, we can have the revisionist history we want. James Harden in 2019, people were talking about it as if he was the best scorer we've ever seen.
It's true.
No,
that was a conversation.
I wasn't partaking.
I wasn't either.
But in terms of individual scoring regular seasons, we haven't seen much like.
That's probably
he's averaging 18 points per game in isolation.
And Mars, I was around when Jordan was averaging 37 a game. It was on the news every night. I was around. It was like, yo, this scoring machine in Chicago is ridiculous. And this was before ESPN. This was before cable TV was blowing up and all of that stuff. We weren't, and Jordan was incredible. I wish I would have been able to see more of him, but we weren't able to see more of him like we weren't able to see more of him like we were able to see James Harden like we did.
I think we can agree though that like Mars and Ron, like y'all said, to have a coach try that, you have to be doing something incredible to, you know what I'm saying? Because there's no other way that you tell your player, just stand behind.
Baba, you actually insulting me. You typing on your phone from basketball camp just after you got out of Mercedes-Benz and you trying to act hard calling me a bitch. Shut up before I go get your uncle to smack you in the back of your peasy ass head. Shut the hell up talking to me.
Shout out the uncle.
Hey, I
Shut
think
the hell up
I
talking to me.
thought you was talking to me, Chill.
Yeah, I was so confused. I was so confused.
I was like, Bob, you typing where?
I'll tell your father what you in here doing. He smack you in your back of your peasy ass head. Go ahead,
how many seasons are better than the Harden scoring season?
Harden was
how
the
many
best.
seasons?
How many seasons are better scoring?
It's not that many. It's not that many, bro.
How many you think, Crunch? How many you think, Crunch?
How
many seasons I think are better than Harden?
Than that 19 season where he got busy.
For one, I was about to say I think Harden was the best player in the league at that time. I think, but as far as scoring season, better than that season. I mean, you got Will Chamberlain season, you got Jordan season, and really, man, I mean, I probably would stop there. Listen,
you're not putting Kobe 06 over it?
Except for Kobe 06. But the thing about that is that Harden averaged more points. You know what I'm saying?
Faster pace.
But yeah, and then Kobe. So I would put
and more 3-pointers too.
It's only those three though. It would be Kobe 06, Jordan 87, and Will had several, but I would just pick the one when he averaged 50. Just because for him that was his most impressive. So yeah, I'm putting Harden in that echelon. I think Harden the top 5 scorer all time.
I'm throwing Steph 2016 in there too.
Man, I got Harden, bro.
Harden. I'm not like someone says, "Oh, I got James." I'm not mad at it, but
yeah. Yeah. Like if you
that's scoring seasons, Mars.
Are we just talking about?
I agree with that.
Is that
I'm throwing Steph 2016.
I want to make sure I'm following you guys. Are we just talking about getting buckets? That's all.
Yeah, just putting the ball in the basket. No playmaking, defense, irrelevant right now. Just
we're just talking about getting buckets.
And Embiid, someone said Embiid this year was on. Embiid this year would have been in these conversations.
Kobe. So it's a top 5 scoring season of all time, bro, for sure. He a top 5 scorer all time.
If I'm not mistaken, Jabbar in 72, I think he was averaging like 34 a game.
Yeah, Jabbar was nice.
What was the pace that year?
Harden, for him to be doing that from the 3-point line to the basket, to just go ahead and size up anybody. He was the best player in the league, bro. If Chris Paul doesn't, man, listen, bro. If Chris Paul don't do what he did,
I'm with you there.
Crunch, you really think he was the best player in the league in 2019?
Bro,
in the regular season, I think it's a valid claim.
Bro,
you know, well, here's the thing though, because we can look right now. You got Luka Doncic, who led the league in scoring, but you know what his case is for not being the best player in the league. So now I'm asking, let's rewind back. James Harden. Obviously, he has a monster year in 2019. But with everybody else that was in the NBA during that time, you think he's better than all of these guys?
For that one year, Ron?
You can make the argument.
I'm going Harden, bro, because remember that season, Chris Paul was hurt for most of the early on. And, man, for him to put up those numbers, I feel as though he got robbed for MVP. I think he could have won a championship in 2018 if Chris Paul didn't get hurt. And he didn't have that much crazy help on his team. I mean, he had a solid team, a great team, and he took the Warriors 7 games. So for him to do that, bro, for him, he was doing whatever he wanted to do on the court. That's the main reason why. But you know, so for those,
he had a 50-game stretch, averaging 39 points a game.
That is,
bro. The man was incredible, bro.
So that's more than half the season.
Yeah, from November to like February, he was averaging 39 points a game. Set the record for the most games in a row, second most games in a row with 30 points.
Right.
Had dumb amounts of 40-point games. He had like a couple 60s, I want to say. Yeah, he was.
You know what? Just because it's James Harden, I get some good hate on when it comes to James Harden. I'll be the first to admit. But I was trying to downplay his stretch of doing that and just that run that he was having compared to Russ's. And part of it was just because I was just trying to big up Russell Westbrook. But I do got to say, that run from Harden was insane those years. Like, I can't hype up what Russ was doing and not hype up what James Harden was doing during that time.
Let's dissect this a little bit, y'all. So, Ron, what you're saying is that you openly hated on James Harden to push a Russell Westbrook agenda? Is that what you're saying?
Well, we was talking ingredients and whatnot and stuff like that. I would say that, you know,
can we get a yes or no answer?
25% of the way I feel about James Harden was that people were saying he was better than Russell Westbrook, and I didn't like that.
So okay, so you were upset about that. You weren't trying to push the agenda, or was
you just thought Harden and Westbrook was a closer conversation that people wanted to act like?
Yeah, but also it was part of it was I didn't like James Harden's game. Didn't like the flopping. Didn't like the whole the step backs and stuff like that. I didn't like Mike D'Antoni and just the system.
I think it was because he was taking 14 steps on his step back. I think that's what it was. Not that
it was
the
travel, all of it. It was just. I think it was just a bad. I didn't like him not playing defense. I thought it was just a bad.
Russ wasn't really playing much defense.
Can we dissect? Can we dissect even further and talk about the fact that now you got parents, friends, basketball fans in the stands at high school games yelling at refs for calling kids for traveling because they're taking 2 step backs? Like this is a real thing. I saw a kid hit a buzzer beater. He traveled. He
clearly it was a wall.
Step back.
Clearly
shot the ball and made it. The ref instantly. Whoop. Nah, we're not doing that.
The game's changed. The game
was tied up, but that's still a travel. That's in high school. The game. In NBA, that they can do whatever, but in college and in high school, they gotta understand we still got to play by high school. We're not in the NBA. So when the kid does this, the stands go crazy. I'm talking about I hear grown men in the stands calling the ref B words and you stupid mother, all of this, all of that. Like these kids are in the NBA and you can do that. So those are the reasons I'm like, bro, they're not even playing basketball no more. Like that's the travel. That's So.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think James Harden should have like at least 3 MVPs, probably 4, but at least 3. And
what years?
15, 17, 18, and 19. He should have 3-peated, in my opinion.
15, 17, 18, and 19.
So the one
17, 18, and 19,
Steph, right?
Yes, I think he should have won 3 straight. But it is what it is. I understand why he didn't win 17. The triple-double was insane. But I think James Harden played better. And I'm sorry, 2 rebounds isn't enough for me to say that Russell Westbrook was the MVP. And then 2018, he won it. It's interesting because I think 18 was probably the year he least, was the year between 17 and 19 where he played the worst. But that's besides the point. And then 19, I understand Giannis's case in terms of two-way play. They won 60 games, I want to say. And Giannis was crazy. But James Harden, to me, was the MVP that year. So. And then 15, I think he was the number 2 seed behind Golden State. The team is drastically inferior. And he won 56 games. Dwight Howard missed half the year.
Harden is an interesting what if too in terms of the accolades. So as mentioned, he could have 3 MVPs. Chris Paul doesn't get hurt. He could have a finals win with the finals MVP. That's a pretty
2021. He doesn't get hurt in 2020.
Okay,
remember, people were saying who's the best player on the Nets in 2021. Before James Harden went down, they was like, is James Harden the best player on the Nets? They had him in the MVP conversation.
Harden could have had Harden could have had 2 championships, 2 finals MVPs, and 3 MVPs.
If James Harden was luckier, we're having different people would have different conversations.
Just from a bucket getting standpoint, and I'm looking at these numbers. Mars, do you know that in the 19 season, he has 7 50-plus games? In the 19 season, he had 17 40-plus games. So that's 24 40-plus games. That's 24 of them, just alone, where I scored 40, and I think he had 2 60 games that year. 2 of them.
He was on a run.
I think Jordan, with combining 40 and 50-point games that year, I think Jordan only had 12 the year he averaged 37. Because Jordan had some 12-point games that year. He had some 16-point games. But then he turned around and have a 47 game, a 59 game. This is why averages get a little tricky, right? Because then he'll turn around and have something like 39, 36, 17, 12, but then go for 58, then 47, and then get back to 37, 36 again. He had 7 50-plus games that year. I forgot how good James Harden was that year. And I'm not even a James Harden fan like that. To be honest with you, Ron, I ain't even a James Harden fan like that. But to be getting buckets like that, my goodness.
But then they get locked up on Manu Ginobili like that in the playoffs. That was
2017, different year. James Harden in 2019 had 16 and a half isolation possessions a game. The next highest in the league was 5.
That's crazy. Wait, possessions
per game?
Yes. He had 16 and a half isolations a game.
That's 4 a quarter.
The next highest amount of isolations per game in the whole NBA was 5.
That's 4
James
a quarter.
Harden on isolations in 2019 scored 1.1 points per possession. The only players in the league who took, let me just look this up. Let's just make sure we got this right. The only players in the league who took over 3 isolations a game to score over 1 point per possession were DeMar DeRozan, Kawhi, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Kevin Durant. James Harden scored more points per possession than all of them and took more isolations per game than all of them combined. We have never seen anything like 2019 James Harden, ever. We probably never will see anything like 2019 James Harden ever again.
We'll never. My bad.
They was basically just running. They was basically just running clearouts for him.
1,000%.
So Mars, what you're saying is we'll never ever see another guy shoot 40 shots a game and 25 free throws and flop every time somebody looks at him.
If you even if you want to call it that, yes, we'll never see that again.
I'm talking about every time you look at me. Every time you look at me.
He got hit.
Imagine if we had a guy in today's game where at least 4 times a quarter, because you figure, what was James Harden? I think he was averaging something like 38, almost 40 minutes a game. So that's 10 minutes a quarter. So we basically playing almost the whole game. So we got a guy who almost every other time he touches the ball, we running clearouts for him. Every other trip.
We can flop.
We ain't running no action. Who have we seen that? I think the last time I remember that was Jordan with the Bulls.
Yeah, it got to be Jay. I mean, Kobe too, though. You know, Kobe playing the because Jordan played the triangle too.
They weren't. You don't have the play-by-play for
Jordan wasn't the triangle then, though.
Right, Jordan. When Jordan was 37, the triangle wasn't there yet.
No, that was 8.
Oh, you talking? Yeah. Well, I mean, even then, though, he was still getting a lot of clearouts too.
Right. That's
what. Hold on, no. So what accounts for isolation or clear out? Is it literally four low?
Yes.
Is it when
it doesn't need to be 1-4 flat. Isolation is just you're going one-on-one. Now the alignments can be different. And you can get an isolation on the elbow if you want. It's still an isolation.
But post wouldn't count. That would count as a post touch. Or would it be a post isolation?
Not a post. That's a post up. That would be different. But anything outside of the post, one-on-one would be considered isolation. Kobe and 06. What
about mid post? Like you know where Kobe and Jordan used to catch it right there,
right?
Yeah, but if you're back to the basket, it would probably be called an isolation. It would probably be called a post up. Right. But for what it's worth, Kobe in 2006. Bear with me. I'm gonna look this up. Kobe in 2006 a combined about 13 isolations and post-ups a game. So less than James Harden. But the pace was different. So I guess you could throw that in there as like that's the difference. But it's not as many as James Harden. And Houston did this while being the second best offense in the NBA. So it wasn't like this wasn't leading to anything. They were the number 2 ranked offense in the league, only behind the Golden State Warriors,
right? Who
had KD, Steph, Clay, and them. And they were close to them. It was a 0.4 difference in offensive rating. So, and that's with Chris Paul being hurt and all of those things. So James Harden led the NBA in isolation efficiency and volume. That's never happened before. Ever.
That's pretty insane.
So, yeah.
You know what, Chill? Mars, Jalen. I kind of miss James Harden.
The old
Chill,
James Harden.
Chill, you know, like it's you never miss something until you don't have it anymore.
That girl you took for granted then, but now you years down.
Yeah, but Jalen, she was still a bum though. She was still a bum. But I miss her though.
I don't miss James Harden, but he did do something different with the game. He manipulated defenses, and in the process of him manipulating defenses, he made them change rules, like step backs and fouls, blowing the whistle, guys getting to the free throw line. He did make the rules change. I have to give him credit on that. He definitely did that. And it was leading to something. I mean, I do think, they went to the West Finals. They won the Western Conference Championship in 18.
They would have won.
And he wasn't very good in that last game. Well, he had some stinkers in that series because we know who James Harden can be, but I can't deny the bucket getter that he was. I can't deny that.
But thing is, the general public, I don't think will ever give James Harden the credit for that season because what Mark says, like that stat with the isolation possession things, that's not a stat 95% of the general public just won't know or will ever hear.
Hopefully they clip this. Hopefully they clip this.
Yeah, hopefully they clip this, right? People know.
And you know what? Add this to the clip too. For anyone who said it didn't translate to the playoffs, James Harden had 15 isolations a game in the postseason. For anyone who took more than 3 isolations a game, he was still the most efficient isolation scorer at 1.04 points per possession in the postseason that year. So they still couldn't stop his isolations. So yeah, shut up. It worked. I don't know what to tell you. It worked. And in 2018, I've watched that game 4 times. They would have won if the refs didn't cheat. I don't care. 27 missed straight threes, all of that included. They would have won if the refs didn't cheat.
Right.
James Harden made a 3, got fouled, and they said it wasn't a 3-point foul. Like he got fouled like 4 times on different threes by a combined Kevon Looney, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson fouled him on like 3 threes. The refs cheated. It's cool. I mean, it is what it is. They wanted to see the Warriors versus the Cavs again. I don't know why they wanted to see it, but the Rockets should have won that series, even without Chris Paul. If Chris Paul was there, I think they guaranteed to win. But even without Chris Paul, they should have won that game 7. And all Trevor Ariza had to do was make a shot, but he couldn't do that, so that's fine. But yeah, the refs cheated. I don't care. The refs cheated. I've watched
Mars, with everything you just said, yes. you could choose anybody, and they get 10 isolations throughout the course of actually in the fourth quarter. They get in the second half. They get 10 isolations. Are you taking James Harden?
Well, like,
and the game is suited to their style of play. So whatever you're best with, the game is suited for you.
Mars, we got 10 isolations. James Harden or Carmelo Anthony.
Okay, I'll put it this way. Statistically, James Harden blows all of these guys out of the water.
All of them.
Statistically,
just from the
James Harden
numbers alone.
Statistically, James Harden is the most efficient high volume isolation scorer ever. Statistically,
with the numbers.
So if I wanted to on average generate the most points per possession on isolations among these guys, I would pick James Harden every time. But I think situation means something. Where you're isolating means something. I think it's easier to score more. Like I always say, the closer you get towards the end of the game and the score's closer, field goal percentage matters more than true shooting. I say that all the time. So if you're saying we're down the stretch of a game and it's like a 1 possession game, I'll take the person who just makes a higher percentage of their shots. So that's probably a mid-range isolation specialist. Right. A Shea, a Kobe, a MJ, a Melo, a KD. I'll probably take them over James Harden in that situation.
My perimeter guys. Okay.
But if you're telling me I just get 10 random isolations, James Harden would be the one I would go with over anyone else. And I'll stand on that. But if you tell me I need more consistent scores, give me those mid-range specialists.
I think we can not confuse, but the idea of post touches and isolation, even though more times than not, when a box player is on the box and he's one-on-one with a guy, that is an isolation. It's just on the box. So if we're talking about just straight isolating a guy, just you and him, right? You and him, James Harden, you can make the argument is definitely a top 10 one-on-one player. I'm not sure that I can name 10 one-on-one players better than him. But if I'm going with post isolation, perimeter isolation, I mean, I'm not sure he was a better one-on-one, because that's what this is accounting to. Him being a better one-on-one player. Was he a better one-on-one player than Bryant? Was he a better one-on-one player than Jordan? Right? Was he a better one-on-one player than Carmelo Anthony?
Keep going.
Considering I'm giving the ball to Jabbar in the box before I give it to James Harden on the perimeter. I'm 100% doing that. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I feel like, 1, he's closer to the basket. 2, I'm almost, to your point, Mars, I'm almost guaranteed for something good to happen in terms of a bucket because he's closer to the basket. And there's not a lot of extracurricular stuff going on with him, as opposed to James Harden. He could fumble the basketball. He could get doubled. Jabbar, more times than not, is going quick. Jordan, there wasn't a lot of extracurricular nonsense with Jay's game. It was 2 dribble pull up. It was jab, go. Same thing with Bryant. Jab, go. 2 dribble pull up. Get to the rim. James Harden, I think he had a stretch. If I'm not mistaken, Mars, and I don't want to sound long-winded here, but I think James Harden had a stretch during that season where I think he had over 660 dribbles. And the next person in the league wasn't close. It was like 400 after that. So he dominated the basketball. Something good happened when he had it, but the usage from him, I think I would go with somebody else closer to the basket.
And I wouldn't argue, especially if you need a bucket. Like, no matter how you get it, you need a bucket. I get it. James Harden in 2019 took 6 dribbles every time he touched the ball on average.
My goodness.
Yeah, that's a lot of dribbles.
That's a lot, yo.
Yeah, that's a lot. And he led the league in time of possession by a substantial margin. So yeah, I understand it, and like aesthetically, I can understand a lot of people not really enjoying it. I'm just saying from an effectiveness standpoint, and I think it goes underappreciated. And I think a lot of people do this when you don't win. Like we underappreciate how good like these players who never won really were. So I guess I'm just giving James Harden his flowers for being an innovator, being one of the best isolation players we've ever seen, all of those things. So
we differ. We differ on the 18 season because I thought that was it 18? Yeah, I think it was 18. We differ on the 18 season because I thought James had a legit argument for league MVP. I know how you felt about Harden, but I thought James did, considering what they had ended up doing with that Cleveland team and the fact that they still ended up making the playoffs. They were a top 4 seed in the East. As bad as the East was, that team was garbage.
I think that year was close. I think 18 is closer than 17 and 19 should have been. Yeah. I think James Harden should have won 17 and 19. And I think it should have been more convincing than his 18 win was. I think LeBron was closer to James Harden's MVP. Like, if he won it, I wouldn't have complained compared to how I feel about 17 and 19. I think 17 was just a robbery. I think 19, I think James Harden should have won it. And 18, I think Harden should have won it. But LeBron, I'm not mad at. So I'm like, yeah. Okay.
I didn't like 17 off the strength of the basis of it. You gave it to Russ off the strength that he averaged a triple-double. Don't get me wrong. I know he led the league in scoring that year. I think he led the league in assists that year too.
James Harden did.
James Harden led the league in assists that year.
Yep.
Okay,
He's
I'm
done
sorry.
that 3 times too.
Right, and I think Russ was right there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was.
But with that being said, you gave it to him off the strength of him averaging a triple-double. That was it.
And then he did it 3 more times, and he was never.
That should have been, which means he should have won the league MVP 3 more times off that right there. And then you take out, because now what you do is you take winning out of the equation. And what Russ did, was it phenomenal? He averaged a triple-double, yes. But then it got watered down because now he's doing it again. And now you find yourself in a pickle because, oh, shit, well, he averaged a triple-double. Again, we can't give him the league MVP again, even though we gave it to him the first time. So 18, when James Harden won the league MVP, for considering what James did that year with that Cleveland team and the fact that the roster got flipped in the summertime and then it got flipped again, 6 more players at the trade deadline, and James coming on television and saying we shouldn't be on TV. That's how bad they were. And for them to turn it around like that, I feel like that should have been a lot closer than what it was.
And I also want people to know, oh, sorry. James Harden has passed Ray Allen for made threes, by the way.
Yes, he has.
He's the only other player to make 3,000 threes. He's the only other player. Steph is number 1. James Harden passed Ray Allen. Never gets spoken about. We talk about the best shooters ever. We never speak about James Harden. I think that's
is it the volume though? Because if you look at guys like Curry, if you look at guys like Ray Allen, I think it's more the volume than it is anything. Because Ray Allen didn't take a lot of shots. Like it's James Harden is a ball dominant guy who shoots the basketball a lot, and he did a lot. I think it's the aesthetics more than anything with James Harden. It's not the fact that what he did. It's the aesthetics with him.
It has to, because he's at 8,082. He passed Ray Allen last year, I think. And I don't even think anyone spoke about it. I get it's because he's number 2 behind Steph. But like he's like 600 clear of Ray Allen right now. He's gonna be closer to Steph than Ray Allen's gonna be to him. And we just don't talk about that. And like he doesn't shoot 40% like those guys, but he was also taking 13 threes a game and 11 of them were off the dribble. No one's done that. No one's come close to the amount of off the dribble threes he was taking. No one's come close to the amount of step back threes he was taking. Only Luka's really in that discussion. So like we have the discussion of the best shooters of all time. I think James Harden should be in that discussion. Not just because of how many he's made, the degree of difficulty, the fact that we can all acknowledge shooting off the catch is easier than shooting off the dribble for most people. Now I know some people shoot better with that rhythm, but like all of those things combined into one, I think James Harden should be in those conversations too. But
With those 13 threes that he was shooting, what was his actual total of shots per game? Because if I'm thinking, if you're shooting 13 threes a game, he has to be. How many shots does he get in the game? 20, 21 shots a game?
The year he took 13, there's 1 year he took 13, then he had a year of 12, then he had a year of 10, everything else about 9 or 8. The year he took 13 threes a game, he was taking 24.5 shots a game. So he was taking
more than half his shots.
Yeah, like Steph Curry. He's taken 11 twos and 13 threes, and he's taken 11 free throws.
Right.
So he's taken 13 threes, 11 twos, and 11 free throws. So, hey, someone would say equality.
I would say it's a good balance. Got some twos.
Yeah, some would say it's a balanced scoring diet. Now, I always say I understand the aesthetics and the foul bait and all those things, but I don't think you can argue against the effectiveness, especially in the regular season. Like at some point, we have to still acknowledge when people are doing things in the regular season. You can't say let's make the regular season matter and then always dismiss the regular season because it doesn't work in the playoffs.
I don't do that. I can't do that. When I turn on the television and I see Harden go for 60 and 15, I'm like, yo, stop playing, man. You're not going to tell me that a guy goes for 57 and 13 on a Tuesday. That doesn't matter. Yes, it does. It 100% matters.
I agree.
I can't believe you guys.
And again, I'm not a big time James Harden fan, but I cannot deny that. I can't.
No, chill. It's not that. I can't believe after what just went on in the chat for the last 5 minutes over you guys saying who's greater than James Harden that you guys were able to have that conversation.
Well, that's because Mars.
Crazy disrespect in the chat.
The chat was trolling. That's crazy.
We know how to be professional about this whole thing. We know how to stay focused. That's why.
The chat clearly is not professional.
Right, Big Hogs, right. We still got some super chats though, so let's go ahead and get back into these. My man Nappin Trey said, "I'm rooting for Dallas, but how is everyone so quick to say the Mavs gonna turn this around? No Porzingis defense hurts, but damn, that's the only problem, or that's not the only problem the Mavs was seeing."
Don't get me wrong. I see what the issue is of not having Porzingis because I think he's the difference. But the fact that they've played without him for as long as they've played without him and still won, I mean, I think that speaks volumes for the Celtic team and how good they are. That they can switch up what they're doing without having Porzingis on the floor. Don't get me wrong. With Porzingis on the floor, I'd much rather have that. But they've shown throughout these playoffs we could win without him.
This Boston team, I just think, is built to play well. If any like one kind of core starter is out, they're just so balanced all around. Like no Porzingis, it's not going to stop Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum from cutting off the driving lanes to a Luka or a Kyrie, getting in those passing lanes, right? Playing great one-on-one defense. Now, do I think at the rim Kyrie might see some easier finishes? Sure, for sure. But again, Jaylen Brown has still been playing phenomenal rim defense at the rim when it's needed to. So this team as a whole is still going to be fine. But, you could say there'll be a few more openings over there. Gafford and Lively, maybe they could turn around with no Porzingis. We'll see. But even then, I just think, again, Al Horford is still intelligent enough to make the right defensive plays and play the right angles where I don't see them going off.
And Dallas just have to make shots. Like, none of this, man. Like, they're going to do all the PJ Washington, Derrick Jones, whoever else plays. They make above the break threes. It's a different series. Maybe they force Boston to respect him, or they just keep shooting them until they have to respect him. But none of this matters if they still can't make a three. Like, really, we're having this discussion for no reason if they can't make a three. If they can make a three, this is a series. If they can't, Boston in 4.
But hold on, though. Porzingis has not. Am I missing something? Porzingis
he's not ruled out. Yeah, he's not.
We've been talking about it the whole show, just saying Porzingis is playing tonight. Porzingis.
It sounds serious. It sounds serious.
And not only does it sound serious, Ron, the Celtics have taken the onus off of him. This is now a team decision. Because remember, we got to save you from you. Because what will happen is Porzingis is not going to rule himself out. He's going to try to give it a go. You saw what happened with OG Anunoby. OG Anunoby had no business on that floor in Game 7. He had no business on that floor in Game 7. If we rewind the clock back to 1970, Willis Reed is not getting on that floor. No, absolutely not. No way. We got to save you from you. But if we don't take it out of your hands, Porzingis is going out there tomorrow. He's going out there tonight if you leave it up to him.
But chill, like what OG did, As opposed to a guy like Zion Williamson who says I'm at 99%. I'm just gonna go out here and do windmill dunks. I'm gonna go out here and do windmill dunks and rub it in my quote unquote brother's face. But OG had to prove to his warriors, guys like Josh Hart. As OG, I gotta prove to Josh Hart, like if I could be out here with you, I will be out here with you. So I'm gonna give you what I can.
I'll leave it go. Sure.
And he made a couple shots too. So I mean, shout out to OG. But I have no medical knowledge, but I watched some YouTube video came up on my recommended yesterday. I can't remember the guy's name, Brian something. He seems to be a sports doctor, I guess. He spoke about the injury. I was calling it a retinaculum. Apparently, it's a retinaculum. So that's how little my knowledge is. It's a retinaculum.
That's pretty cool.
A rhetoric.
Yeah, JJ Redick, man. So I watched that video. He was talking about how basically, if I remember correctly, the retinaculum is something that it folds over like your ankle joint and it protects like the tendons and ligaments in your ankle from like damage, I guess. And because there was a play where he was trying to box out on a free throw and you could see like his ankle invert. You can see his ankle invert, and he's saying that's where he believes the injury occurred.
It rolled the other way.
Yeah, like so his leg was going this way, but his ankle was going that way. And he's saying that's when the retinaculum, he thinks dislocated or whatever, fractured, whatever it was. And then with the retinaculum displacing, the tendons it's protecting are now free to move within your ankle. So like it can displace and be somewhere it's not meant to be. Where you can play on it and it won't cause like, because it's not a torn tendon or it's not a torn Achilles or anything, it's not a ruptured anything like that. You can play on it, but you'll feel discomfort and pain.
Will it get worse? The discomfort and pain.
Apparently, from what I remember him saying, it won't get worse.
Then I'm good.
But you will have to have surgery after the season to just fix it. Right. But you can play on it, and it will just be about pain tolerance.
That's fine.
Oh yeah, take that up.
All right, I'm good.
I'm assuming with all of that, if that stuff is true, and once again, I'm deferring to Brian. I think
right.
If that stuff is true, I'd expect Porzingis to play. Apparently, it won't get much worse. Like you just gotta like watch out for inflammation and stuff. But like in terms of like structural damage and stuff, he should be okay. But he's gonna have to get surgery. Is like what seems to be.
We're gonna eventually have to fix this. I broke my foot, and the space in my foot's not gonna get bigger. It's already broken. It's just a matter of can you run, and if I can run, how much pain can you tolerate? All right, I'm good. You can tape it up.
This is nasty when you explain it more as the tendons.
That's what I'm thinking about.
My ankle's just hurting for no reason now.
That's what I'm thinking about when he's talking about this.
Whole body hurts.
I'm thinking about being in a car and the window blew out and we going at 200 miles an hour. Eventually, if you keep doing this, you're gonna get sucked out the window.
Right.
I don't want that. No, is it that bad? No, we ain't saying that's gonna happen. Okay. All right. So that's
with that I expect him to play. But
you know the remedy for that now. You gotta shave your legs now. You gotta shave your legs because now you gotta get none. You can do that because now you make sure you're running on balance, so you're not just putting all your weight on that ankle. So you got to disperse the balance correctly. Go to the chiropractor. But before the game, all you got to do, make sure you shave your ankles, because then the tape job you got to get to stabilize this ankle, you can't have any pre-wrap. That's got to be straight. That's got to be straight tape to skin. You know what I'm saying? Tape that up. Put 2 pairs of socks on. We ball. You good?
Sorry, Key has been a member for 6 months. He said Ohtani is better. Dub Mars, Dub Jalen.
His man going to jail too, by the way. I think that dude going to jail.
And taking his time for him, chill.
It sound like Ohtani ain't know nothing about this. It really does.
Hey, does a good job of sounding like that.
That's what I'm saying. I can't say with 100% certainty, but it sounds like Ohtani didn't know nothing about this.
Okay.
Hey, maybe he just like I said, it was a
transition. Just moving with integrity over there.
Talk about it. Hey, Ohtani gonna take care of his family though. You know, they're going to be all right. They're going to be all right. I was going to say he better taking one for him.
Wait. So I thought he was supposed to be. I thought he was stealing money from him.
No, that's the story. That he was taking his money that he was supposed to invest, but he was gambling with it, making bets, whatever.
Okay, so Jalen, if somebody is taking your money and gambling with it, you're going to take care of their family while they're in jail?
I mean, some people say it's just a front though. Like he did, like Ohtani knew what he was doing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was just saying if he does take care of his family, that's kind of like the proof that Yeah,
I mean, that's very 100%. Like, we'll never know.
We'll
never know.
If he just completely disassociates himself with dude, and you won't find out, you'll find out that there is no second or third hand money going to him from Ohtani. Because I don't think, Ox, I'll be honest with you, it sounded to me like he really didn't have nothing to do with this. He didn't know anything about this.
Okay. Wow. So I hope so.
Yeah.
I think you should be able to bet.
100%. Yeah.
No, Mars.
Shout out Ohtani though, phenomenal, having a crazy year.
For real.
I'm a bet 200,000 on this game, and if I bet 200,000 on this game and we lose, and the odds are,
I just don't think you should be able to bet on games you're involved in, but I think you should be able to bet on other things. If you're going to promote it everywhere, yeah, that's fine. Then if you're able to promote it everywhere, I don't see a problem with Alperen Sengun randomly betting on Toronto versus Brooklyn. I don't care.
No, that's fair. Yeah, I get that. I think you should be able to bet that your team's going to win, not the actual squad or just like the difference.
Yeah. Also, if you want to bet, hey, I'm gonna have it over 30 tonight. Let me put some. Go for it. Now, if you take your unders, interesting. But you take your overs, I think that should be fine.
You take your overs and you take it.
Yeah, you take your overs. I'm fine with that. Take your overs. What's the worst that can happen? Oh, you played too good. How dare you? No.
What are you doing to your team, Mars? If I bet my over and I'm out here chucking, what about my team?
Yeah, you can cost your team to win if you're just chucking.
The integrity of the game is gone.
I get that. But that's why I did say, if you're not involved in the game, I think you should be able to.
Yeah, that's
just worse.
The over thing would just be
no, that doesn't work, Mars. And the reason why that doesn't work because I know Ox, and I'll call up Ox. Ox, y'all played Toronto tonight, and every time you see Sengun, or y'all play Houston tonight. Every time you see Sengun, what you giving Sengun tonight? Yo, chill. I'm giving Sengun 18, and I'm giving Sengun 25 and 10 tonight. So should I put 100 on 25 and 10 tonight, or over 25 and 10?
Put 2,500 on that, chill.
Put 2,500 on that.
NBA
by the way, this is my man.
NBA
by the way,
players' friends could do that anyway.
And I'm sure that they are.
Yeah. So like, if they,
I bet you that's going on, Mars.
I'm sure. I'm not sure. I can't. This is all projection. That it's possible that, let's just think of a random player. Malik Monk has a friend who says, "Hey, how you feeling tonight?" "Yeah, I'm feeling good, man. It's gonna be a good night." Over 17 and a half? Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm sure at least one NBA player is doing. Like, I'm sure they have friends who definitely bet. So if they can do it, why can't LeBron, who's LeBron with Draymond, say, "Hey, Draymond, 9 rebounds? You got 9 rebounds for me tonight?"
I do.
Yeah, bro.
I got 9
Anything
rebounds
for you, my glorious king.
That sounds just like Draymond too. Sound like just like
Draymond. Good impersonation. Like, why not? Like, I don't get it. If you're not involved in the game, I don't see the problem.
But it would get tricky. Well, that's what I'm saying. Because it would get tricky, Mars, if he picked up the telephone. "Hey, Draymond, can I get 8? You got 8 rebounds in you tonight against Memphis? I got 8 rebounds in." And then you find out from a third party, James made $250,000 on this. This guy made $250,000 on this bet. Who's associated with James? Yeah, that was getting tricky.
Maybe stop promoting FanDuel to me during free throws. Maybe.
Thank you, Morris.
I don't want to tell you.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, everyone else allowed to make money off you, but you can't make money off your own friends in the league. Nah, stop promoting it.
Well, while you're at it, Morris, stop promoting that, but also stop promoting Hennessy. NBA.
Bad.
Crazy. But
I don't see the problem.
Hey, NBA, I'm not mad at you, man. Get your money. Get your money. Get the sponsorships.
But chill, look, you call me. We just take the hundreds and give me 40%. We can run that play all 82 games.
Ox, you got 12 rebounds in you tonight? Bet.
I got 6. Take the under.
Okay, I'm gonna take the under. I'm gonna take you got 6 rebounds.
Unders is where the problem is. The unders is where the problem is.
Hey, Mars, I'm talking about easy Jason Tatum rebounds right in front of me. Oh, I missed that one. Oops, my bad.
See, but the overs, unders you could guarantee, but overs you can't. Like if your over is 9, maybe you just, even if you're trying, you might not get it that game.
Right,
you know what I mean? So the unders is where the problem is.
Yeah, I just don't. If you're not involved in the game, I don't see a problem with it. Now, if you're involved, then okay, I think it gets tricky. But if you're not involved, I don't care. If you're going to promote it everywhere, they should be able to get involved. It's them at the end of the day.
All right, y'all go vote on that poll and make sure you choose El Cheerio. Also, too, like the video if you haven't, while you're going over to like the poll, and scan that QR code right under Mars, that little eensy beatsy tiny poll, right? Actually, let me do you a favor. Scan this QR code. There you go. Go grab your merch. Check out what we got. New merch on the way. you guys will see soon. But until that gets here, go grab some of that old merch. All right, y'all. A few more super chats. And then I need game 3 predictions from everybody. Jink with the super chat said, was second year Luka top 10? And why don't we ever mention Ricky Rubio for being the best passer ever? I know it sounds silly, but please watch him.
Not ever, but he was a hell of a passer. I think we probably should talk about him a little more, but you go too far when you say things like that. Best passer ever is going to make us not want to talk about him.
Was Rubio ever even a top 5 distributor in the league? I know passing and assists don't always correlate.
Sure
I know.
He had a lot of flashy passes. I can understand what he said when you watch him. He had a lot of very creative passes, almost Steve Nash-esque. But yeah, ever top 5, you can make a debate. Steve Nash-esque it was. Top 5, top 5.
Those later years though, too, Jalen. Like the last year he played in Cleveland before he got hurt. Like before he got hurt, and then the season before that, Rubio was balling. Later, Rubio's last probably 4 years were the only 4 years where I really liked Ricky Rubio.
Mm-hmm.
Luka is who everyone thought or people thought Rubio would be. Like the hype on Rubio.
I don't think anybody thought Rubio was going to be like how Luka.
No. Rubio was like Luka was the most hyped international prospect since Rubio.
Yeah.
But Luka was at a different level. Like no, I seen someone leave a comment on one of the panel episodes a couple of days ago talking about Luka played pro since he was 14. Imagine if LeBron got that type of environment or something. Like, I don't think people understand. You know how good you have to be, to be able to not only play pro at 14. He was playing EuroLeague basketball at 16.
Yeah,
EuroLeague basketball.
That's
the second best league in the world.
That's the
10th grade. He was getting EuroLeague minutes. 18, he was the MVP. Then he was the Final Four MVP.
Like it's only Europe that like kids.
You don't just get that from and he was lucky to be in that situation. You don't get that. No,
you gotta be him.
And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, Mars, what is he? 25 now? So 16. That was 9 years ago. When he talks about how physical the EuroLeague is. So at 16 years old, I'm playing against grown-ups, and I'm in the rotation. I'm in the 10th grade, by the way. That's what 16 years old is in the States. That's 10th, 11th grade, and I'm playing against adults. And at 18, that's a senior in high school. I'm the best player in the league.
And to answer that, the second part of that question, Luka was top 10 and second in the league. What year was that? 2020. Top 10. Go back.
Top 10 players?
Yeah. I don't. He might have been.
He showed up
15, 20 maybe.
Okay, so he showed up. If I'm not mistaken, Luka showed up in 18. Is that correct?
18-19, yeah.
Yep. So Luka showed up in the 18-19 season. So was he better than James?
On that 2020 season, no. I don't think he's better than James. Anthony
Harden?
Davis, no.
Anthony Davis?
No.
Giannis?
No.
Russ?
Yes.
Man, 20
in 2020.
2020.
Yeah, 2020.
2020 is the season that we're talking about. 2020.
Yeah, he's better than Russell Westbrook.
That's Wizards.
He's easily top 10 to me. He's easily top 10
in 2020.
2020. Yeah,
and that's his second year, right?
Yes. He's
Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. Was he better than Kawhi Leonard, Paul George? 2020.
He's better than Paul George.
Okay, I'm mad at that Kawhi.
So we got 6 guys. Okay,
that's
so
6.
You saying no on Giannis? You saying no on Davis, right? And no, so we clear. I just want to make sure we clear that in 2020, in 2020, he was first team All Pro.
And KD and Steph missed the whole year.
Yes, he was first team All Pro that year. So no way. There's.
I'm saying right
he's
there.
Okay, LeBron, AD, Giannis, Kawhi, and Harden.
Yeah,
I don't think he's better.
Sure.
Then you get into the Dame, Jokic, Embiid. Anyone else I'm missing?
Kawhi. Buckets.
I've already said Kawhi. He's better than Jimmy Butler.
Buckets.
He top 10.
Yeah, okay. It looks like
I'm not sure because when I say I'm not sure, Miles, I'm not sure I can name 10 players. I go Giannis, Davis, James. I go Harden. I go Leonard. That's as far as I'm going. He was better than Jason Tatum in 2020. He was better than Russell Westbrook in 2020. He's definitely better than Ben Simmons. He was better than Rudy Gobert. He was better than Jimmy Butler. He was Was he better than Damian Lillard in 2020?
Dame, Embiid, Jokic is where I'm having like
Chris Paul, Siakam.
You guys do know revisionist history. We go back and do this in 2020. Saying Luka was better than Dame would have been criminal at this moment.
It would have been nuts in 2020.
Yeah, that's the bubble MVP. Yeah. That's the bubble MVP.
Don't forget, I think he had 360 point. Yeah, I think he had 360-point games that year.
Yo, and I know we're saying this right now. I don't believe any of you guys at that moment in time thought Luka was better than Dame.
I know I didn't.
I can't remember. I think I did. But I might. I'm like, no.
Pause. There's no way.
I was a big Luka guy, but yeah.
There's no, and I wasn't even that big of a Dame fan. I dug Dame, but I wasn't putting a guy who's in year 2 ahead of a dude who had been an All-Pro, winning playoff series, and still getting busy the way he was getting in 2020 over a dude that's in year 2. I wasn't doing that.
I wasn't as high on Dame, but that's because I thought he was the worst defender in the league. But yeah, I don't know. He was definitely in the top 10. It's just whether or not he was 6 or 9. Like that's where I'm at with it.
Considering Steph and KD were hurt, like you said, so it's like, all right, then he's easily in the top 10.
Yeah, so he's definitely in the top 10. I think he could go as high as 6,
right,
and as low as 9. And then if you include Steph and KD, even though they didn't play, but you're like, well, they're better players anyway, then he could go to 11. So
you can't legit name 10 players, 10 players better than him at that time.
I don't think so.
And to the dude in the chat telling me that Luka was 29, 9, and 9. Dame was 30 and 8 that year. What are you talking about? Dame was 30 and 8 that year.
Dame was hell at that moment in time.
He was 30 and 8.
Dame gonna be back next season. Everyone acting like Dame just forgot to play basketball. Dame will be back. Don't worry.
At that moment in time, though, correct me if I'm wrong, Dame is unanimously the second best point guard in the NBA.
They were saying he was better than Steph. Are we forgetting?
Yeah, that's conversation. You put Dame in Golden State.
I can't believe that was a conversation
everyone was having.
I can't believe that was
that wasn't too crazy, chill at the time.
Started with the range.
Oh, he was never better than Curry ever.
And probably not. But it wasn't a crazy conversation.
I thought it was nuts.
So the conversation kind of spiraled, but I do think Dame has more range than Steph. I think that's just true.
Over the past decade, there's been times where a lot of people thought a lot of players were better. Like from 2015, I think 2015, maybe like 2017, people thought Kyrie was better, or the conversation was there. Then the Harden was better than Steph. That conversation was there. And then Lillard was better than Steph. There were a lot of conversation with point guards throughout this kind of stretch.
I mean, there was people saying Russ was better than Steph in 16, 17.
Right?
I remember when Golden State went down 3-1 to OKC. The timeline was Russ is the best point guard in the league. Russ is better than Steph. That's what the conversation was. Then 17, Steph, they obviously came back. Steph joins, KD joined the Warriors. Russ is averaging his triple-double. Steph starts the season kind of slow. Russ is better than Steph. And like that conversation kind of died out by the end of the year, 2018 onwards. And then James Harden was like, James Harden's better than Steph. He's putting up these numbers and all this and better playmaker. He scores better. Like, why is Steph better? Like, everyone's kind of like had like a chip at the Steph crown, and then they've always just like not taking it. But I think James Harden was the closest. I think James Harden was the closest.
You think James was the closest?
Yeah.
But see, to me, this is why consistency matters, and being able to do something for a long duration of time actually matters. Because it shows, and it even goes into what we were just saying about Luka. Like, going back on it, it's easy for you guys to say Luka was better than Dame. And it's because Luka has done it year after year after year leading up to this point. Yeah, he has gotten better, and he's better now than he was in 2020. But in 2020, we was looking at Luka like, all right, you just did that. But are you really that good, or was it an outlier season? Steph was out. That's the only reason why he got first team. It was a lot of rumors about that, and there was a lot of people not necessarily putting all the stock in Luka because they just didn't know. Fast forward now, everybody's like, yeah, Luka is him. Luka's the best point guard in the league. Luka's this, and that. But that's why consistency matters, because even like the last 2 or 3 years with Steph, it's been guys that have had good seasons, but we can't put them above Steph just because Steph has done this consistently since 2014.
But Ron, if if Klay Thompson wouldn't have fell off a cliff this past couple years or whatever, would we still have these conversations, or would Steph be winning more games, and would we still appreciate Steph?
Yeah, Steph's being underrated because Golden State's trash. Like, in my opinion. But
I think so.
I don't think he's as good as Luka. The top 4 is still the top 4.
I still think he's the most dangerous man in the NBA, Mars.
So you guys still have let Steph over Luka?
No. I don't.
Curry, you mean Ox?
Yeah.
You think he's the most dangerous man in the NBA still?
I'm not saying he's the best player, but he's the most dangerous man in the NBA still to this day.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
that could definitely be that could be legit.
But I've seen people who say Steph's not in their top 10 anymore. That's interesting to me.
That's crazy.
What, in the NBA today?
Today.
Well, I can't get behind that at all.
I don't have a list. I keep saying this. The top 4 is my top 4. Everything else I don't know. But I'm 99% sure Steph is somewhere in the top 10. I'm 99% sure.
I had him in the top 5 actually. But before the season started, I had him in the top 5 before the season started. I still think he's a top 10 player.
There are a lot of players on that next 6 after that 4.
Which is kind of interesting too, Jalen, because we had the conversation about Jaylen Brown being better than Jason Tatum. Does that mean Jaylen Brown is a top 10 player in the league?
I mean, if Tatum isn't a top 10 player, which
it could mean that too. Yeah.
Look at this one over here. This one over here. Look at that face. This one over here. That one right there. I'm gonna jump you. I'm okay, Ox.
I'm saying, like, can we talk about it? I just want to talk.
I don't want to talk about that. Really,
same way I'm 99% sure Steph is in my top 10. I'm 99% sure Jaylen Brown wouldn't be. But I am higher on Jaylen Brown now than I ever have been.
I do think a lot of people now have Anthony Edwards over Steph just because of the playoff run.
Oh yeah,
a lot of people do.
People probably do.
People still don't know about. I don't. I'm gonna come out and say this right now. Anthony Edwards is not a better player than Steph Curry right now.
So going into next season, Ron, is Anthony Edwards a top 10 player going into? So when we do this in September, and when we rate out and we go into our top 10 players, where is Anthony Edwards? Do you feel like, because the Olympics are going to be over?
Yeah,
we're going into the season. Is Anthony Edwards a top 10 player going into next season?
He's still got to show me something on that Olympic stage too.
Okay,
like he showed me something in the playoff stage. He kind of did. He came back down to earth a little bit, but he showed me a lot. And y'all remember, I was saying Anthony Edwards wasn't even a top 3 shooting guard. That tune's changed a little bit, and I think he got action at the top spot actually.
What can he do for the bench though? I don't think he's not going to start.
As of right now, though, I got anywhere
Ox,
from.
What's your problem with that? What's your problem with that, Ox? Considering
just like
when we came into the season, considering how we came into the season, I don't want you to look at Anthony Edwards, because this is what Ron is talking about. We're talking about what Anthony Edwards was coming into the season, right? They had just lost in the playoffs the year before. Even though he did get busy in the playoffs. Yes, he did. No, I won't argue that. But if you think about the 2 guards, Mitchell, Book, Shea. I mean, I think them.
Well, I don't know if we got Shea. My thing is chill. When we did the list at the beginning, every time we've had this conversation, I've always had at 4. This isn't just because of this last
at 4 in terms of 2 guards.
2 guards.
Okay, I'm with you.
That's in the league.
Okay.
No. At 2 guards, I've had at 4 all season, even through the playoffs.
You got Booker better.
Who's the other 3?
I got
in front of him.
Jaylen Brown's one of them. So
I got Jaylen Brown.
And Jaylen Brown balling right now too. So you can't. Can't nobody say that's blasphemy right now.
Yeah, but I was saying that before the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I still got Jaylen Brown. I got Devin Booker and I got Donovan Mitchell.
It's chill. I can't answer that question right now because
I know
during that series when they played the Suns. Granted, obviously, it was he had a very good team, but he clearly outplayed Devin Booker, and that's a big thing for me. I take that into account heavily. If you're playing a guy and you guys are matched up, you guys are the same position, this, that, and the third. If he outplays you, we gotta start having a conversation.
Is it
it's not like they're guards at each other.
Didn't Anthony Edwards guard Booker for a little bit?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he for sure
Jaden McDaniels was his primary.
But it was time for Jaden McDaniels.
But he did.
It was time for Jaden was guarding KD,
it wasn't like
and then Devin Booker guarded like once. So and also the Suns were going up against a much better defense than the Wolves were going up against.
I get that.
I mean,
Mars.
it's a lot more that goes into it. But
It's a lot that goes into it. But the thing that I'm saying though is because y'all know I was kind of dogging in. I didn't really have in like that. I thought Chill was hyping in. I thought Early was hyping in. I thought all you guys were. This playoffs showed me, all right, Ant is on his way.
Not this season.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Ron. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, or he might have arrived.
Not this season, the 24-25 season. The 25-26 season, I think it's undisputed. He's the best two guard in the game. I think it's
and you know that's also something that factors in too, Mars.
I think it's undisputed.
I'm not as big of a Jalen Green fan as Mars,
mm-hmm.
but I'm a Jalen Green fan. So that's
Jalen Green definitely he pushed the envelope, and Mars has me watching, especially that last like month and a half of the season. I'm thinking, all right, can we move forward with this? If I'm Jalen Green, I'm getting with Sengun this summer. Whether he's in Turkey, I don't care where he at. I'm getting with him this summer, and we got to get on the same page because I feel like this Houston team on their way to doing something, and I don't want to screw it up because you and me bumping into each other because we didn't get to work out until September or right before training camp. No, I'm getting with this dude this summer, and we're gonna get some work in because we got to get to the bottom of how you and me are gonna coexist. We have to do that.
Chill. Jalen Green go to Turkey. He might end up just playing for Fenerbahce or Efes next year. Chill. You ever been to Turkey?
I've never been to Turkey, no, sir.
Hey, if y'all ever need just somewhere to go overseas and you don't know where to go and you got to get away, go to Istanbul.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Istanbul. I'm telling you, just think about it. But all right, I got another
too. By the way, I'm sick of Ox because every day we come up here and he the only one that's hungry and none of us ain't hungry.
I'm sick
of him, Bron.
You just gonna eat in front of everybody's face, huh? Not all for nothing.
I've had it with Ox. I'm sick of him.
You know, Mars, I would never do that.
I mean, y'all know I get on at 8. I get on at 8 a.m. You know what I'm saying? I got it's morning time. Y'all already had breakfast.
True.
Anyway, Ron, I'm sorry, you were reading something.
Joseph S. said, chill. In your college days, did you ever watch the Bulls and Jazz finals since you were already in Utah? What was your reaction to Jordan's last shot?
My last season playing college basketball, they hadn't made the finals yet. They had lost to Seattle in the West Finals. So they hadn't made the finals yet. And then that next year, I still was out there. I was finishing up school. I had like 1 or 2 semesters left, and I was finishing up school, and I was out there, and I didn't think that they could beat them in '97. In '98, I thought that the Jazz were going to beat the Bulls. I thought that they were better.
Did you go? Did you used to go to some games every once in a while?
I did. I from '93 to I knew I actually became friendly with Brian Russell because
for real?
I actually became friendly with Brian Russell. We became real cool. And the way I met him, a guy that I grew up with in Jersey City named Luther Wright, he got drafted by the Jazz in '93. So I ended up doing that. But then there were guys that when I was in college that I knew that played in the NBA. You know, my man Terry DeHay, he played for the Clippers. They would come to town and I would catch a game. Bobby Hurley, when he was with the Kings, they would come to town. I would catch a game. Danielle Marshall, when he was with the Warriors, they'd come to town. I'd catch a game.
You know Danielle?
I do know Danielle Marshall. Yes.
Shout out Danielle Marshall.
Chill, you want to go tell us you know
Danielle Marshall.
I do know Danielle. I do know Danielle Marshall. So these guys would come to town, and you know, I and this was at the height of the Stockton Malone. I'm not, just so you know, Jalen, I'm a 21, 22-year-old kid that I don't really know what I'm seeing, right? I don't know that this is something that's fantastic that's happening. I'm just thinking, yo, this is basketball, and I'm out in Utah, right? Not realizing, 25, 30 years later that, yo, you was there for that. And you were checking. I wasn't thinking, I'm 22 years old. I'm like, yo, this white dude with the short shorts, he's nice as hell. And this other big guy, he's really good. So I'm watching them. So when Jordan hit that last shot, to be honest with you guys, and I think I told this story to Ox, it felt like when you on your way home from school and the teacher got a call home because he want to talk to your mother, and you know what's coming. You know what's coming when you get home. You already know that they called home, and your mom's home waiting for you, and it ain't nothing that you can do about it. When Jordan stole the ball from Malone, I knew what was about to happen. I had this sinking feeling like, damn, they're gonna lose. they're gonna lose. And when he shot it and it went in, I was like, that's game.
Yo, chill. The shot was insane, but the steal is so underrated.
The steal
is so underrated because when he's opened up, he's seeing the floor, and Jordan's there right here in this blind spot. It's like, Jay, how do you get there? That's
Stockton's fault. That's Stockton's fault.
What? Not talking to him?
No, not talking to him. Not giving him the ball. Jay never cleared. Jay was standing there the whole time. He looking at Stockton because he knew that they ran that play like two or three times before that. So Stockton, he's got to wait for Jay to clear. But he never waited for Jay to clear. He just went and threw the ball in. He just went and threw the ball in Malone. And it was like a movie, Ron.
Who was he guarding on that play, Chill? Was he guarding Hornacek or? I'm saying who was Jordan guarding? He was guarding Hornacek or Russell?
Yes, he was guarding Hornacek. He was guarding Hornacek. Hornacek's clearing out. Malone has Dennis Rodman on him. Ron Harper is covering Stockton. So these two guys, Malone and Rodman, they fighting on the box. Malone ain't even paying attention to Jay because he thinking Jay gonna clear out, which is Stockton's job to tell him that. So he's trying to deal with Dennis. It's only a one possession game at that point. So when that happens, Stockton's got a hold. And the reason why Stockton's got a hold is because Jay is right there. It's like a scary movie, Ron, when you see the dude in the scary movie, like, yo, he right behind you. Watch out.
Yeah.
He's right there. No, he didn't even do that.
Let's chill. Let's say in an alternate universe, one of Mars' alternate universes. Whichever one this is, Mars, right? Let's say in an alternate universe that somehow Malone just sees him and kicks it to Hornacek in the corner. Hornacek bangs it, and
the Bulls lose Game 7. The Bulls lose Game 7.
Really?
No doubt about it. They lose Game 7. Yes. They
whole different world.
First and foremost, Game 7 was 3 days later. That Game 6 was on a Sunday. They got 3 days. They got to sit in Utah for 3 days, and I know they don't want to do that. I know for a fact the Bulls don't want to do that. Scottie Pippen is banged up. He could barely walk.
Right.
Scottie Pippen can barely walk. They do not want to sit in Utah for 3 more days. Hell no, they don't. They win Game 7. I'm sure.
In that alternate universe, though, because it clearly was scripted the way it happened. Jordan coming to getting that steal and then coming in, just finishing with a storybook ending like that.
Yeah.
Even if the ball goes to Hornacek, he shoots it. Jordan gets the rebound over Malone, not just a regular rebound, over Malone.
Contested rebound.
Ron. Yo, Jeff,
what's up?
Put some respect on Jeff Hornacek.
Hey, I had respect for Pedro, and I mean,
Pedro has an all-time.
I got it. Hey, all right, John.
Hey, stop.
Hell no. Chill, you hear what he just said to me?
Hey man, I'm on that. Pedro Stojakovic is a top 10 shooter all time. I don't care what anyone says. He's the top 10 shooter all time.
Man, top 5, man.
I'm not mad
free
at
throws,
that,
mid-range, three, like everything, not just threes. Like he's just a shooter.
I'm not mad at that at all.
Telling you.
Oh, so I realized. So Chill, you said that you was friends with Russell, right?
Yes.
Did he say that Jordan pushed off?
Yes.
He put his hand on his hip, clearly on his hip. Today, that's probably going the other way. So, did he tell you like, nah, he pushed me?
I saw him again in 2000 in Los Angeles, and that's exactly what he said. I shouldn't be telling you guys this because this is privileged information, but yes, he did. He said he. In fact, his exact words to me was, "You saw it. He pushed me."
You saw it. We all saw it.
I mean,
that's exactly what he said.
That's
exactly what he said to me. He's like, "You saw it. He pushed me." That's exactly what he said to me. You saw it. He pushed me.
Sure, they should have called that.
They never calling that. Hell no. Hell no, I ain't calling that. No way.
Would you have called it if you was a ref? Would you have called it?
Yes, I would have called it.
You would have called it, Chill?
I would have called that. Yeah.
But that's because you was in Utah at that time, and you was a resident and all of that.
Beep. Going down. I probably would have got tackled. I probably would have got tackled, particularly by Jordan. He would have definitely came after me. I'm sure of it.
Well, he shouldn't have pushed off.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have came after me. So,
all right, y'all. At this moment in time, let's talk about Game 3. I need you guys' predictions on what happens tonight, and then I also need you guys to tell me who is it more critical, or not even more critical. I think we would all agree for Kyrie to show up that it's more critical. But who do you think will have a better game tonight, Kyrie or Jason Tatum? You guys go around the board. Let me know. Jalen, I'm going to start with you. Who's winning tonight and who has a better game?
All right, we're gonna go with the Dallas Mavericks winning tonight. Just too good to go down 3-0, back on their home floor. Expect the shot making. Can they shoot that bad consistently? I think it's going to hold true that role players play better at home. Guys like PJ Washington, Derrick Jones Jr., I think are just more inclined to make those threes at home behind the home crowd. So they're going to make their threes. Kyrie expect to bounce back. I think a combined 70 by Kyrie and Luka tonight is what's going to happen. 35, 30 to 35 apiece for both those guys. Shoot officially. Luka close to a triple-double, going to do his thing. Give me the Mavs, but I do think Tatum's going to show up. I think without Porzingis, Tatum will have a bit more of a scoring load, going to take more shots. So I think he'll have a fine game, but it's just going to be a situation where I think the Mavs just kind of want it more. They need it more. Mm-hmm. So Mavs in this one, we'll give a score 103-95.
All right. Jalen coming through with the score and all. Big Ox, talk to me.
I mean, they go back to Dallas. I got a gentleman sweep in this. I think Dallas might get game 3. They're going to get one of these. I think it's safer to say they'll get game 3. Jalen, are you taking Kyrie's overs tonight?
Yeah, definitely the Kyrie overs tonight.
You spoke to Kyrie? He told
definitely.
You?
I mean, I didn't get to speak to him, but it's just you gotta take the overs in this spot. But hey, I'm telling you, the real money's in WNBA, Chad. The WNBA market is where the money is to be made because the books are still learning, so there's some edges to be had.
John, I told you about betting on Asia Wilson.
Hey,
stop betting on Asia Wilson. Though.
She be coming through. She be coming through every night.
Hey y'all, we got the PC gambling channel in our Telegram or betting. That's a little more proper. Betting channel in our channel right here. Click this at this link at the top of the chat. Just between us, me and the 1,400 people that's in here and everybody up on the panel, Jonte Porter's in there. Might want to join and get you some inside information. Might want to do that. But Ox, who has a better game tonight? Kyrie or Jason Tatum?
I can't say, Ron. Probably Kyrie. Probably Kyrie. Not saying that Jason's going to play bad. I just think Kyrie's due for a major game.
Yeah.
But if I got a nitpick on it, like who played better, I'll probably go with Kyrie on this one tonight.
All right, Mars. Who wins tonight and who has the better game?
For the sake of the agenda, I need Boston to win tonight so Dallas can win in 7. So we got Boston winning tonight. Then Dallas obviously winning 4 straight. Better game. I think JT will probably play better, but I think one of these next two games and then the next 3, obviously, because gonna win 4 straight. Kyrie will shoot better, like he's gonna start making his shots. But I think just overall game, defense, rebounding, playmaking, his scoring is gonna also tick up. I think Jason Tatum will play better overall, but I think Kyrie will probably score better. Maybe tonight, maybe game 4, definitely game 5, 6, and 7. Dallas in 7.
All right. What about you, Chill?
So Jason Tatum, since the East semifinals, Cleveland and Indiana series, he's 30-11 on the road. And they're undefeated on the road in the playoffs. The only team to do that was the Lakers in 2001. So for him to have a game like that, and they're, like I said, in the undefeated, I think it holds a lot of weight. Now, the Dallas Mavericks, one of the major problems that they had was that those guys couldn't make shots. Guys shoot the basketball different when they're home. PJ Washington's going to shoot the ball different. Derrick Jones is going to be a lot more energy. Derek Lively, I think he's going to get himself calmed down a little bit more. So, I think Dallas could prevail tonight. I do.
All right. And you got JT going crazy tonight.
I don't got him going crazy. I just, for what I've seen over these playoffs, and both in the semifinals and the East Finals, he's 30-11 on the road this season in the playoffs. So
You're going to have an average game. That's what you're saying. 11.
If JT or JB, one of those guys kind of go off and have a big game, it could be a kind of a separator for the Finals MVP discussion.
Yeah, I think that I'm on record, Jalen, saying that I feel like the guy who has the best game in the closeout game is going to be the Finals MVP, because I don't feel like there's anybody who separated themselves from anybody in this series. I feel like
100%.
All I need is that Derek White 30.
Yeah. And Mars, you think that's some nonsense? Derek White.
I'm here with Derek White. Let Derek
That's
White
really not.
Yeah,
average 17.
I'm here for it.
You figure Derek White in this game, he gets like 16 and they end up winning, and then they lose game 4, and then they go home and he goes for like 29, 11, and 7. There's your Finals MVP right there.
I'm here for it, man. I'm here.
I'm not mad at somebody
right there.
Yep.
That's
and as much as I'm an advocate for the best player or the most valuable player winning it on a losing team is possible, Luka's not. Luka doesn't deserve it yet. He hasn't played good enough in that situation. But I'll tell you why. I'll tell you this. Okay, let me say this. I understand why the winning team gets the Finals MVP. It's the most valuable player. A lot of times, valuable is conducive to winning.
Right.
I just think there's very special circumstances where a lot of things have to line. So one, all the players on the winning team, there's not a kind of a standout performer. It's a great team win. There's not one guy who's clearly the best leader on the team, whatever the case may be, doesn't have a good series. And two, I think the person on the losing team also has to play like at all-time levels, phenomenal, and you just have to kind of see it on the court that he's noticeably the most valuable and the best. So again, some people mentioned LeBron 2018. I don't think he deserved Finals MVP in that, because one, KD played at a very high level. Right. Even Steph played at a very high level. They won that series handily. It was pretty easy series for them to win. He did not deserve it. The only time I've ever said that a loser deserves Finals MVP is 2015. And that was because, one, in the Warriors, no one had a phenomenal series. I thought Steph was good. Iguodala was important. It was fine. Draymond was actually really good that series, so that's cool. But in 2015, what he was able to do, carrying that team to a couple wins with, again, I want to rewatch some of those games. Timothy Mozgov, Tristan Thompson, Matthew Dellavedova, and Iman Shumpert on the court with LeBron James. No spacing. I know the league was different. Spacing was different than, the shooting wise. What he was able to do creating for his team. I just thought he was so noticeably the most valuable and best player.
He had us thinking they could beat these dudes.
Exactly.
He had us thinking that they could beat these dudes.
Other than that,
Dellavedova at the 1, J.R. Smith at the 2, James at the 3, Tristan Thompson at the 4, and the Russian at the 5. And they were up in the series. He got us thinking that, they can win this thing.
Yeah.
Why do the names matter if they played well?
And they did. They definitely.
Dellavedova was balling.
Why does it matter that he had I understand spacing. I understand that. Mm-hmm. And they were shrinking the floor 1,000%.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm saying, if Dellavedova and Thompson and Mozgov and Shumpert and J.R. Smith and I can't remember who else was in the rotation are playing well,
the name shouldn't matter.
Why does the name value matter? Especially when on the other end, Klay Thompson and Harrison Barnes and Sean Livingston to that point weren't playing well. So even though Klay and Harrison and they have more cachet as terms of their name, but they weren't playing well. So why does that matter?
Well, that's what it is though, Mars. The reason why it matters is because these guys were clearly better players than these guys. Big ups to Dellavedova. He wasn't better than Steph Curry.
But if he
big ups to
played
Iman
better
Shumpert
in that game, why does that
in that game or the series?
Yeah, I know. I'm like that game. What was it? Game 2 where Steph couldn't score, or game 3? Game 2, I think. If Delly played better in game 2 than Steph, or he played better in game 3 than Klay, for example, why is that an indication that LeBron is more valuable?
No, so I don't think. I mean, if you even look over at players, I don't think Dellavedova played defensively. He was great. Offensively, he was not great that series whatsoever.
But the Cavs won because of how good their defense was, not their offense.
Sure.
You know, down under they call Dellavedova the Curry stopper.
100%.
Yeah, based on that game too. But
do they ox really?
Yeah, they lose.
In game two that the Cavs won, they had a 94 offensive rating. That's egregious. And in game 3 they had a 105, which is still not good. Yeah. They didn't win because their offense was good. They won because
defense slowed the game down.
Golden State. Yeah. So if that's the reason they were winning, we understand everything LeBron brought offensively. But if that's the reason they were winning, and Delly was instrumental in defense, so was Tristan Thompson. Timothy Mozgov gave them good minutes. Why does that make LeBron more valuable in that series? Why?
Because it's just, the reason why, Mars, is because of aesthetics. That's why, because of what it looks like. Dellavedova, the Russian, Mozgov, J.R. Smith, Shumpert, these dudes don't have the cachet. These dudes don't have the history of performing well in the postseason. James, on the other hand, does. So automatically that's going to elevate him to the top of the list, even though what they were doing collectively as a unit defensively, meant more than what they were doing overall. But when you look at what James did, I mean, Mars, he led the finals. He didn't lead the Cavs. He led the entire series in points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. No player in NBA history has ever done that in the history of the game.
To lead in all 5 major categories,
ever. He didn't lead the Cavs. He led the entire series in that. So if James can't win Finals MVP when they lose, nobody can do it.
But wasn't that? But I thought it was in 2016 he did that, because in 2015 Draymond averaged more steals.
I think that was
in 2016 he led them in all categories. I might be wrong.
I'm pretty confident that it was 2015 where he led the entire finals.
I'll look it up, but I'm like,
I think it was 2016. I think it was 2016 too, but
2015. I think
he led in 4 out of 5.
Either way, even if he doesn't lead in steals, that's still ridiculous.
Right.
To lead the finals and everything, and I'm sure even if Draymond did lead in steals, he was 7.
So
was it 16?
Yeah, I think
in 2015. I'm obviously not including Kyrie's 4 steals and 2 blocks average because he played 1 game. Right. So in 2016,
what's his total number? I think was
in 2016, LeBron was second on the Cavs in steals, and he was fourth, because Draymond and Steph averaged more steals than him too. Mm-hmm. So that would put him.
So it's 16.
That would put him fourth. And then in blocks, he averaged 0.5. So he's not even close.
So it was 16.
Then, 16. So 15, he led in points, rebounds, and assists. I'm pretty sure. I don't think anyone averaged 13 rebounds. Tristan Thompson averaged 13 actually, but LeBron averaged 0.3 more. So he led in points, rebounds, and assists. Shot 40, had 48% true shooting. But I mean, I understand the spacing and how they defended him and all of those things. I think Steph played at a high enough level to deserve the Finals MVP, and I think the 2 games the Cavs won. Yes, I understand without LeBron, their offense would have been even worse than how bad it was.
It would have been cooked like that. Offense
yes, I understand that. I'm not arguing against that. But I guess what I'm saying is I don't think the Warriors in 15 were in a situation where they didn't really have a standout guy, so we'll give it to this guy who had a dominating performance. I think Steph Curry having the high, he had the highest 4th quarter average in any final series since Michael Jordan. And these were games that were going down to the wire.
He should have won the finals.
In the pivotal game 5, when the series is tied 2-2, you could argue Steph Curry was the most impactful player on the floor. Argue. I'm not saying he was. I'm saying you could argue it. And that's the most important game of the series. And then game 6, he plays well in the closeout as well. So I think Steph Curry played at a high enough level to where it's like, there wasn't really a great performer. I disagree. I think there was a great performer. And I think because he won, I don't think you're going to change the history of the Finals MVP for a guy who played as well as Steph did. Same reason I think probably John Havlicek should have been the Finals MVP in 69. But I think they just messed that one up. But shout out to Jerry West.
They screwed it up.
I would disagree. I think LeBron at 15, like just willing that team. Again, watching those games, he just was willing that team.
Jalen, you're a disgrace.
No, it was. You got to watch. You know the conversation was. I remember. I think it was Big Baby Davis on TV. I just want to go out there and help the guy. I feel like crying.
Big Baby Davis, the criminal.
I mean, hey, he was cool back then. He was cool back then. I'm just saying, we forget the conversation that we're having.
But I think they did. I think they did kind of indirectly give LeBron the Finals MVP. Them giving it to the person who guarded LeBron is them indirectly saying LeBron was the Finals MVP. Because, like, respectfully, I don't think Iguodala deserved that award at all.
Yeah, I would.
But and he did play great, and he did change the series. Mm-hmm. But like, I think that's them they're saying we can't give it to LeBron because optics. But we see that, like, LeBron, here you go. Take
optics. It's just they lost. He's completely out of the running. You lose. I don't care if you average 15 and 12. If you lose, Jalen, that's what we're here for. You can't get an award for losing in the finals. It doesn't. It's just that's ridiculous. But that's so anti-competition.
No,
You know what, Jalen?
Noticeably the most valuable.
So we're at the podium.
So
We're at the podium. They're giving out the Larry O'Brien trophy. Adam Silver comes up. Bill Russell's there because he's still alive at this point. Rest in peace, Bill Russell. And the finals MVP from the Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron. So he's like, he's over there, mad as hell that he lost the finals. Now he's got to go up to the podium and give a little finals
in front of the team, by the way, that just beat him. That's holding the Larry O'Brien.
You can let him know. I'm him. I'm better than all y'all. I was the man.
Jalen,
you still let him know. To me, he still deserved it without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Hey, Jalen.
But I think the writers, this will come around though. At that time, there's still maybe the stigma behind giving. They don't want to give it to a player on a losing team. And I think the writers today are still the kind of similar, same, or the voters who vote on it are still similar today.
Jalen,
but it's coming around though. I think the younger sports media.
The only situation I see it possibly happening is if the situation you outlined where it's a real team effort, no one stands out. 2015 Hawks style, where like the whole starting five got player of the month. Yep. So like that type of team, everyone as close to equal in terms of performance as possible. The series goes to 7 games, and the guy who loses, they lose a tight game. He performs excellently down the stretch, has averages crazy numbers, and they lose like a 3-point game. That's the only situation I could see it possibly happening. And even then, I think they'd opt to give it to the whole starting five before they opted to give it to the losing team.
That would be the best move.
This Boston team might have a split one too. If like they're winning,
I genuinely think they'd opt to give it to the whole starting five before they gave it to a losing team player. But I think that's the only situation in which I could feasibly see it happening. I don't think the series has to go 7 games at least, in my opinion.
There's never been a split finals MVP. No, I can see it happening.
A cold finals MVP. I can't think.
No, never.
We've never seen
so I could see that. Like, I mean, I can honestly. I'm in favor. I'm fine with Andre Iguodala getting that Finals MVP. But Steph, I would have been perfectly fine with Steph getting it too. Like either one of those guys, But Andre Iguodala did have a tough. He had a tough matchup though. Like that was, I understand. Like, LeBron still was scoring and doing his thing, but like Andre Iguodala still played very good. But he played very good defense on Bron still, and he impacted the game in more ways than just that. He made some big shots. He came in he did his thing. Steph probably should have got that Finals MVP, but to even have a conversation for LeBron James, I think is just disrespectful to competition. I think it's just disrespectful for the competition.
When it matters,
we're competing. I can never see you giving the losing team an award and feel like we're respecting competition.
Ox, we're not giving the Final Four MVP to the dude who lost when we won the national championship. We're not doing that. I don't care how good you play. We're not doing that.
Well, even Jerry West getting it, that was
they
crazy.
Screwed that up too.
I don't care. I don't care if who they thought right there on the spot. You remedy that. Like, okay, he's not getting it.
I just learned the other day they voted. I think it was Chill said on the playback. They voted after Game 6. Wasn't it? Didn't even have
now what we're gonna do is we're gonna stuff some more ballots in that box. I'm saying like,
or to your point, Ox, we're changing this in Game 7. Like, wait a minute, no, you're not the Finals MVP. Y'all lost. No,
my bad.
Yep.
That's it's simple as that. Chill. Oh, my bad. Thought y'all won. Nope. Sorry, Jay. Fuck out of here. You lost.
2015 was by far LeBron's most inefficient.
This actually belongs.
Yeah, wait. Obviously, the efficiency numbers were bad without a doubt. But
they were bad the whole playoffs. Like it's not just the finals. Even when they were bad. LeBron's 5 most inefficient series, 3 of them come in 2015.
Jalen, you do know people can hear this, right?
Yeah, without it, I'm still saying 2015, LeBron should have got Finals MVP. Go watch the series, chat. Go watch that.
Hey, Jalen, you know what? I'm kind of on that fence with you right now. I'm kind of there. Yo, he was going ballistic, but here's also the thing too, though. Here's also the thing too, though. I do think Steph averaging 26, 6 assists, and damn near 2 steals should have definitely got it. I just went back and looked at it.
I could get with that.
I didn't even know Steph averaged 26.
17.
Because the way people talk about it, I like he averaged 22. His numbers went up from the regular season.
You would think he averaged
24 in the regular season and won regular season MVP. He averaged 26 in the finals, including being by far their most consistent fourth quarter scorer. And they act like he underperformed.
Right. But, because the reason why they act like that, Mars, was because who he was going up against. That's why. It wasn't because he didn't.
And game 2. And game 2. Steph's and that's the thing. Steph's liable to. I remember in 22, I said Steph's going to have a game where he doesn't make threes. And game 5 happened. Steph's liable to have one game where he doesn't shoot well. In 2015, it was game 2. In 2016, I mean, there was a lot of games in 2016, but game 7. In 2017, it was game 3, I think. In 2018, it was game 3. In 2022, it was game 5. Steph's and 2019, I want to say it was game 6.
Yeah, it was the closeout game.
He's liable to have a game where he shoots poorly. It's because he shoots a bunch of threes. It's like, it's gonna happen.
That happens.
And he's lost 2 finals MVPs because of that. In 2015, he lost it. In 2018, he lost it because of game 3. And Nick Young said that Steph was crying basically after game 3 because
that's it's so corny. It's so corny. Like, now I'm not saying he was trying to do that, but like I'm just tired of players and people just doing these interviews after something, like airing out dirty laundry and talking about stuff that's going on in the locker room. I think that is some of the most corniest stuff. Like,
you think Nick Young would know better too? But I mean,
you know, after he you know, talk bad about D'Angelo Russell, like, this is weird to me. Like,
and Steph's already spoke about that, like, because the video of like him with Iguodala like consoling him after the game is like circulating again. Steph's already spoke about it. He wasn't like, he said the thought of the finals MVP did cross his mind, but he was just more upset that he played poorly and that he didn't really help his team win, even though they won the game. But he was just upset within himself. And I'm sure like most athletes have gone through that way. Even if you win, like, you're happy you won. And you could saw when KD made that dagger, you could see Steph celebrating with him. Like, he's happy. But after the fact, it's like, I should have been better. Like, I think it was more so that. But
he got busy in that series in 17, though. You can make the argument he could have been the finals MVP in 17. He got busy in that series.
I think you could have made the argument both years, to be honest.
A lot of people don't talk about what. Don't get me wrong. Kyrie Irving, all Kyrie Irving did was outshoot him. That was it. Curry did everything else great in that series. He averaged a double-double in that series and got busy.
He averaged like 26, 9, and 8 or something like that.
Yes, I think he averaged double-figure rebounds. Almost a triple-double.
Uncontested, but you know.
Which is a big deal. Huge deal.
I see people in the chat saying like that's not the same thing. Like Nick Young talking about it and what D-Lo did to Nick Young. Like, I understand the significance of what D-Lo did, but like, dirty laundry is dirty laundry. Like, if it's socks, a dirty t-shirt with stains on it, or if it's drawers, I can't wear it again. It's dirty.
Until you clean it up, right?
Yeah. You're not meant to really talk about stuff that happens in the locker room. Like,
it's a locker room for a reason.
It's like an unwritten rule, I guess. You're not really meant to be talking about stuff like that, especially outside of the person you're talking about's presence. Like,
like a thing sitting right here, right?
Yeah, like, that's just not something you're meant to do.
All right, y'all. Nana became a member today. Shout out to Nana for becoming a member, and shout out to all the other members as well. I got a few other super chats, so let's go ahead and get into it. War V Room said, Mars, you should do the blind stats on the panel.
What does that mean?
Yeah, what is that?
It's a thing we do on Open Gym, right? Because I'm such a great content creator. So I'll look up 3 random players and like their points and their efficiency. Whether it's regular season or postseason, I'll mix and match how it depends on how I feel, and I'll ask you guys to rank them A, B, and C in terms of which numbers sound the best.
Right.
And then,
we don't know who the players are.
Yeah, you don't know who the players are, so you'll just hear the numbers.
Okay.
And I'll ask you which players sounds like they have the best numbers or which player sounds like they're the best scorer. And then I'll reveal the players afterwards, and you get some interesting results. You get some people saying, Joel Embiid sounds like a better scorer than Michael Jordan, or James Harden sounds like a better scorer in the playoffs than Luka Doncic. We saw some interesting things. Reggie Miller sounds like a better scorer than Steph Curry. Like, there was some interesting things that was happening. Yeah, maybe one day I'll do it on the panel if Ron allows me to.
Hey, we got a long summer.
Yeah,
the finals might be done in Wednesday, and then they will play Saturday.
When's game 7? Because that's what we're going
to. Today is Wednesday, so I think game 7 is next Tuesday.
No, when's game 4?
Game 4 is
you asking the good questions, Ron.
Hey, a lot of WNBA content.
Summer might be here soon, Mars. We might need you to, go ahead and do that blind stats.
Because we got an action-packed summer. I mean, WNBA is in full swing. The Olympics are coming. The draft, summer league, action-packed.
Asia on her GOAT grind. She really tried to make her.
And by the way, real quick, Ron, before we move on, because I watched that game last night, Ox, between the Aces and the Lynx. Don't let that score fool you. They put a foot to Vegas' ass last night.
Well, Chelsea and Jackie are hurt. So.
What's the story with her? I meant to ask you that, Ox. What she's still on the bench. What's going on with her?
Who, Jackie or Chelsea?
Yes, Jackie.
Jackie, she got some type of illness. They said she was sick. There was one game that said
Jackie
she was
been
sick,
playing though.
but she played. They said she
No,
was sick
Chelsea. I'm thinking
played.
about.
Chelsea,
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on with Chelsea.
What's going on
I know
with her?
Chelsea's been hurt. She hasn't played yet. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but they got her on the roster for Team USA. Like, she's
Are they both in Team USA? Chelsea
Yes.
and Jackie?
Chelsea,
Yeah.
Jackie, Kelsey.
They got
and
4
Asia. They all
players.
on. They all on.
They got 4 stacked.
I'm reading right now. It said
Excuse me.
it's her lower leg. Tuesday, she was doing well and confirmed she will return to action before the Olympic break, which starts mid-July.
Is this the same? This isn't the same injury that she's been dealing with, though, right? Because that was a while back.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'll sure hope not. Because
I like that big girl from Minnesota. She's
Fizu?
the Swedish chick.
I
know you're talking about. She big. She can shoot it a little bit.
Yeah, she's about 6'5". She run the floor like a deer. I like her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even get to catch the game last night though. But I know Kayla McBride been balling. Kayla McBride been balling.
Hey man, shout out to Kayla McBride. I know I talked about Turkey. I know I mentioned Fenerbahce earlier. She is a Fenerbahce legend. Hey, the EuroLeague go through Kayla McBride. I'm gonna put it like that. She got a championship last year. She got a couple other ones that the EuroLeague goes through Kayla McBride. When the WNBA season ain't going on, you got to go see Kayla McBride over there.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Fenerbahce too.
And go see Shaq ducking fades when he's playing.
Hey man, Shaq got a big game coming up here soon, man. Hey,
Shaq out there ducking fades, Mars. Is that what's
he ain't want no part of Costas. He ain't want no part of Giannis Bravo. I see him running down the tunnel. First one down the tunnel. I seen it.
Smart man.
Interesting.
What was that about? I'm sorry. I must have.
They were in from what I've seen. Just seen the clip. I ain't watched the game. They were in like their post game like little huddle. I don't know if that's a regular thing. Post game little huddle. And one of Shaq's teammates, don't know his name, kicked one of them. Kicked one of the other team. So I don't know what happened. But he kicked
that was actually Jeremy Grant. Or Jerry and Grant. Jeremy Grant's brother.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That was Jerry and Grant.
He kicked him. I don't know why he kicked him. I don't know what was said. He kicked him. Costa sees it. He's on the other side. He sees it. He turns around. He starts trying to get into the scuffle. And I see Shaq just looking around. He ain't trying to get no parts of it. Security comes. Shaq's dashing down the tunnel.
You know what? No suspension. You know what? No suspension. You know what? No suspension. Don't gotta deal with that. You know those tussles though. It's a lot of hold me back. Everyone just walking. Hold me back. No one really ever swings.
Hey man, Sun
Tzu spoke like he was ready.
Hey, Mars. Sun Tzu spoke about self-preservation. You know what I mean?
He knew what was about to happen.
All I know is Shaq's team Olympiacos is beating, they're beating Pana. That's the team that actually won the EuroLeague, and this is the Greek League playoffs we're talking about. They're up 2-1 right now. They have a game today. Close these dudes out. They on their home court. Shaq and his team, they went to Pana's home court, beat them in 2 games over there. Pana won the last game at Olympiacos. So it's game 4 tonight at Shaq's crib, man. Close them dudes out.
Shut the door. Stop playing.
Mars, you trying to tell me that Shaq was not with the drama?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
All right, so we got a few more super chats. 1K David say Lakers won't be back on top until new
front office
and owners.
New owners.
I mean, Genie Bus is keeping that team for life. I don't know what y'all think they're going to sell the Lakers.
That's the family business. What are you talking about?
You don't sell the Lakers.
No.
You know how much it would cost to buy the Lakers? Like it's literally would be their value. It'd be their value times like 2 or 3.
That's what I'll be hearing. Like I'll be hearing stuff. Jalen, like LeBron, he got more money than the owner. If that owner sold the Lakers, I think that unit goes for like $6 billion.
So they're valued at 7, but if they're going to sell it, they're probably going to ask for like 13, 14, maybe 15.
At least 10.
Make it 20.
At least
10.
10.
3x multiple, you could. It's crazy. I promise you, there's less than 10 people in the world who can legitimately buy the Lakers, who would have enough capital. They could, it's insane.
D Barber 1313 said, "How far behind is current season Luka from 19 Harden when considering unethical points and blitz percentage?"
We doing unethical tax. That's crazy.
New tax alert.
Unethical taxes.
Y'all were complaining about California taxes. This new unethical tax, man.
Yo, the unethical tax rate on Luka and James Harden is so high that
we got to move to a different state, Ox.
Right,
we can't live
here.
Very
different state. We got to cross the border. We out the country.
Yeah, we can't do it because it's too much, yo. We can't live here no more.
LaFlame said, RIP to the logo, Jerry West. In terms of the finals, I think we get Jason Tatum game tonight, or get the Jason Tatum game tonight.
I think we get a good game from him tonight. I do.
Scoring wise, Dallas need to implement my tactic, and they'll win the game. But it's cool.
Sam Brown said, Mars, who you got for the Euros? I want to say England, but the defense is shaky.
I asked you that yesterday, Mars.
I don't know anything about any of the other countries, so I don't know.
Who you got?
I don't even know who's participating. Poland.
I think France is a favorite. I'm pretty.
I don't even know who's part. I know England. I don't know who's in England's. I don't know anything. I don't even know who's in England's squad.
Mars, you got a secret fascination with Poland? You got a Polish chick, Mars?
Nah,
what made you just come with Poland? You got a
bias to Poland. Poland's getting quite a few black players now. It's interesting.
That's a lot of these European soccer teams. They get a lot of. They stack their team with a lot of players from other countries.
I need me a Polish chick.
You seen them Polish chicks, Jalen?
Hey,
we got Jalen. One thing we gonna do is we gonna infiltrate. We gonna infiltrate.
Mixed breed.
Oh, see, there's a Polish guy in the chat. Shout out to Jacko. He said they're getting 0 points, but I'm gonna believe Poland's for the win.
Hey, see, Jalen, what they do is colonize. What we do is infiltrate.
All right, so last super, y'all both in the at the same time as me. Hey, last super chat of the day from Pasirala, Pasirala.
I guess
Pasirala said, "Is Luka Doncic already the greatest Maverick of all?"
I'm so sick of this show. Did Dirk Nowitzki not exist? Am I losing my mind?
We're not gonna disrespect Dirk.
Am I in the Matrix?
We're not doing that.
What are we doing, man?
Now, look, you could say he's been the best player ever. You could say he's already a better player in terms of peak.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
I don't know. Look, I'm okay with that view if that's your take. But greatest Maverick, Luka still has several years, at least 5, 6, 7 years.
Respect Mark Aguirre. What are we talking about?
Okay, Mark Aguirre was fantastic, Mars. I'm not gonna argue that. Rolando Blackman, yes, absolutely. Roy Tarpley, no doubt. We're gonna act like Dirk Nowitzki wasn't running around here when Webber and Garnett and Tim Duncan wasn't running around here. He was all league, taking his team to the NBA Finals. By the way, this is year 6 that Luka got his team in the NBA Finals. Dirk got his team in the NBA Finals in year 7. So it's like we're pretty close. Why are we talking like this dude is clearing him? No, he does not. And on top of that, Dirk revolutionized the 4 spot.
That's true. Dirk got a lot going.
From an impact standpoint, Dirk is.
But don't stop at Dirk. We can make a list.
Don't stop at Dirk. Stop it. Who are you going to say? Jason Terry?
That's cool. I'll take Michael Finley, Josh Howard.
Oh boy.
Hey, chill. So it's not even a conversation.
Jerry Stackhouse. Thank you,
Jalen. Has the conversation started?
Thank you, Jalen.
We can start to have the. How about this? Let's start to have the conversation, because last I checked, I think in year 8, Dirk won the league MVP. Yeah, so in year 8, Dirk won the league MVP. Luka is in year 6. We're not there yet. So, I mean, if you want to start to have a conversation, but to say already, like Dirk wasn't doing this similar stuff. Yes, he was. I mean, Dirk
at the peak though.
Yeah, if they're saying it from the perspective that Luka is better at basketball than Dirk ever was, I get it.
Yeah,
if that's what they're saying.
There's not a stretch.
If they're saying their legacy in Dallas, then
that is different.
And I know we got to wrap this up, Ron. From a basketball player standpoint, I hate this conversation. It makes me nuts. Was Luka makes me nuts, Mars? Was Luka really better at basketball than Dirk?
I think you can have the conversation.
No.
Yeah, I'm saying yes.
I think we can have the conversation. Whichever way you go, I mean, there's arguments to be made, but I think you can have the conversation.
The conversation will be respected. The conversation will definitely be respected. But Dirk was so nasty, bro. Like
100%.
I need to see Luka for 3-4 more seasons, maybe 5.
Yeah.
And then I'll talk with you.
We can have this conversation when I get a decade. I can do
that.
Give
me a decade of work.
If it is from a longevity standpoint, then Luka's not there yet. I get that too.
No.
Let's say Luka's on pace. Like I said, like, man, his accolades are going to be pretty crazy when it's all said and done.
Luka passed better than Dirk. That's where the love stopped, Jalen.
I agree.
That's as far as I'm going.
That's where the love stopped.
That's as far as I'm going.
I mean, relative to their position, he's a better rebounder. Obviously, one's a big,
Relative to position, I don't care about relative to position.
Luka's an elite rebounder.
Relative to position, Dirk's the best shooter ever.
How about that? Take that with you.
I think wait. I think that's
what we're doing. Like relative to position, Dirk's a better shooter.
Dirk's a better shooter regardless.
That is a pipe of smoke.
Dirk's a better shooter, so it's cool. I'm cool with that. But Luka,
that's how you get cooked three the hard way.
Luka better scorer.
You're meant to end the show when I cook like that. What are you doing?
Wow, Luka better scorer though.
Jalen, you need a lighter? Hey, all right, y'all. I just got to shout out Flawless Noob on the way out. Last member. He became a member before the show ended. Shout out to Flawless Noob. We will be back tomorrow at the same time, but just with a better crew and for a better show. Game 3 tonight, y'all tap in.
Better?
Who's up? Better show tomorrow? You don't think it's going to be a better show tomorrow?
Jalen won't be here, so yeah.
Crazy. That's going to be a worse show.
We garbage, Ron. Trash.
Tap in the playback tonight.
Too much dead time right now, Morris.
All right, y'all. We out.
Boo him. Boo him.